What's up, everybody in the chat room right now? Thank you guys for joining. We're going to be streaming this game between Tomb King 20 in the blue, playing Chaos Knights, versus Guy Appleton, who's going to be in here with Heretic, Astartes, Triple Lord of Skulls. So the kind of meta-breaking list right now that we saw coming right out of LVO. We're just still getting the players set up here, but I wanted to jump in and message you and give you guys a lowdown on the lists. So over here, Tomb King 20, he's actually posting up in the competitive Facebook group about this matchup. Sounds like he's a little worried about it. Sorry, I was just mentioning my name in the chat there. He mentioned he was a little trepidatious about the matchup, and was essentially he thinks that he needs to go first for these Chaos Knights, for the Chaos Knights to survive, because the Lords of Skulls, the damage output of those guys is pretty intense. Triple Lord of Skulls, you get the full reroll from the Demon Engine stratagem, the Soul Forge stratagem, can really do a lot of damage. Looks like we're still trying to connect Guy Appleton, the red player here. He's having a little trouble, but that's okay. I think we'll get it squared away. And but we'll go over Tomb King 20's list real quick while we're thinking about it. So it's a pretty straightforward list. Being Heretic or Chaos Knights, we have a Rampager Knight. That's this guy here, the double melee weapon guy, and he's kept pretty cheap. No upgrades on him, but he's got his huge power fist, he's got his huge chainsaw, and he's got his stomps. The Rampager, as soon as you give it two melee weapons, hits on a 2+ in melee, which is very, very handy when compared to the 3+ knights. Sometimes you can botch them up with penalties to hit. That 3+ can get pretty hard pretty quickly, and they don't do as much damage in melee as you want. But this guy, starting on the 2+, he's gonna get it done. And this big chainsword might be handy against the Titanic Lords of Skulls that we see coming out of Guy Appleton's list. We also have the sort of standard loadout of 2 despoilers. Looks like we're having a little bit of trouble jumping in the last player. Lyle Dixon in the chat. Good morning. How's it going? Thanks for joining. You've got 20 on the list with super heavies. Yeah, I think that's a good one. I think a list with Titanic models is going to win this game. So that's a pretty safe bet. And I'm going to go one step further, Lyle. I'm going to up you. I've got 25 on a Chaos list to win this game. A Chaos list with Titanics in it. I'm calling it now. Oh, it looks like we got the other player in. Awesome. So he's going to be loading up, and we're going to get going shortly. So we have the standard loadout, 2 Knight Despoilers, 1 double battle cannon, and then 1 double Gatling cannon. Pretty straightforward double battle cannon, very strong option to punch through armor at super long range. Gatling cannon, good against infantry, especially sort of medium or heavy infantry like intercessors. The Gatling cannon at 2 damage, flat 2 damage, can actually absolutely tear them up, especially with the that AP -2 on that thing. Punches right through salamanders, that's for sure. And then to fill out the list, we have a Red Corsairs battalion, all Slanesh. I think it's in case the sorcerer wants to buff them up with the Delightful Agonies potentially. And that gives them that's a Red Corsairs triple Chaos Space Marine, and that unlocks the additional CP when you take a Red Corsairs battalion. So that's going to be fueling up this super heavy detachment. So you have the CP from the super heavy detachment already, which I think is +5 for bringing all super Chaos super heavies, and then you have +8 for the Red Corsairs battalion, bringing you up to a hefty amount of CP. It's going to be 16 CP coming out of this list. Red Corsairs, pretty good, just, sort of chaotic 17 here, I guess, with the 2 HQs and 15 Marines. And then we also have a Lord Discordant on a Hellstalker. This guy, I think, just a linebacker for the list. If you try to advance in on these knights, he's going to come get you. We have a sorcerer with a jump pack to follow up with him and warp time him around the table. Alternatively, everything's Marcus Slanesh, so it's going to be you can Deadlight Flag, and he's that guy for 5+ DPR, and he becomes very difficult to kill. Yeah, all the infantry should just circle around the big stompy boys in the middle and yell fight. I think we should do a bear pit. We'll do one at a time until one gets defeated. Following the list up here, I love this little guy. It's a War Dog Moirax. So the Forge World War Dogs that get the alternative special weapons, and he has 2 Graviton Pulsars. SpaceX, how's it going, man? Thanks for joining in again. And thanks, everybody, for joining in. We had a sort of insane day of streaming yesterday. Oh, no. That's a loud noise. Sorry, one sec. Looks like my co-host is going to join in here. Hey, what's up? I'm joined by Colin as my co-host for the game. This is a little bit of a last-minute stream, so we're not perfect on organization today, but it's okay. We're making it work.
No, I am also at work right now, working quarantine remote, so I may have to hop on and off. But I will
no worries.
Watch a game and definitely cast it with you.
Perfect. Yeah, we were just going over Tomb King 20's list in Pod 2 here. He's running triple Chaos Knights with a backup battalion of Red Corsairs for the extra CP, and then he's got the standard Chaos Knights loadout. He's got the double battle cannon guy. He's got the double Gatling cannon guy. He's got the Rampager with the punchy fist and the slashy sword, and then a little flavor. I like this. I like this little flavor here.
Anybody else come to see the stream?
Can I get an invite to the game so I can watch?
Give me one sec. They're talking to me.
Okay. So I guess pregame stuff.
Yep. Go for it.
So Warlord, obviously right here. He's going to be the. He's got the +1
Okay.
advance, charge and attack while he's in your deployment zone as his Warlord trait. This guy's going to take the relic that gives him a.
Yeah, it looks like we have.
6. It's a -1 AP.
Let me just fix my audio here.
No worries.
For Colin, yeah. All right, we should be good.
Yes, extra -1. So Stubbers will be -1 through 6.
Better
you,
Ed.
Text. Can you text me the
So
password?
this guy, his relic. I'm paying. All right, so 1 TP gives me all strength 5 gold.
Password in the chat there.
That's used
Thank you.
So, yeah, Tsung-Su, thanks for the heads up there. I had a different audio setting set up from last night, from the Insanity game that we played we streamed last night. Unfortunately, didn't stream the whole thing because at the end of hour 6, we were on round 4.
I actually woke up this morning, Trevi, and let me say I saw a 5.5-hour upload from you on YouTube, and I went, what the hell is he doing this time of night?
It was a game that happened. It was pretty interesting for the first 2 or 3 hours where they were playing the first round. And then, unfortunately, it was Astra Militarum versus Space Wolves, and unfortunately, Astra Militarum forgot the new Space Wolf stratagem to heroically intervene 6 inches with any unit. And that was kind of curtains. We had a Wolfen unit heroically intervene, kill all of the guardsman screens during their turn, and then get into Knight Commander Pass, get a bunch of Basilisks, and it was basically forced them all the way back.
So I thought you got a little White Claw wasted and accidentally left your stream on. That was kind of what I was under the impression of what happened.
No. Lyle Dixon, we didn't finish watching the stream either, the match either. So, but I will tell you, it was mathematically impossible for the Astra Militarum to come back in the game by the time we left. So, the Space Wolves did take that. I think it was a 42, so a max points. Pretty hard shellacking on the Astra Militarum.
Is this Tomb King?
So down the blue here at Chaos Knights, we have Tomb King 20.
No, I was still. I had to search for it.
So, okay. Yeah, can you just join me in Steam?
Password.
Reroll.
Password is incorrect.
And
Trevi, what's happening here?
I don't know. That's the password I use.
What's the?
and we got.
All right.
Oh, are they maxed at yours? That's
No, we have spaces left. It says.
I actually watched Tomb King's game a couple days ago against one of my buddies, so that was actually really cool. The great thing about all these events that are happening on TTS is you actually get to see a lot of names, and you're like, "Oh, I've seen this guy / probably played this guy before."
This makes me intrigued here because I usually.
Sure is now. Let's see if we can do it.
Yeah, just re-invited you. I don't think that password's changed.
Most of your AP is more than -1, correct?
Spaces? Just
no, I don't believe so. All right.
That has failed to connect.
Give us a second here, chat. We'll figure out this issue.
Let me just try one more. Try joining on. Is it your server?
No, it's Tomb King 20 is hosting it.
Well, I'll watch it with a 20-second delay then.
Okay. Okay, chat.
So you were going over the list.
Yeah, we're just trying to work out some issues here. Getting my co-host into the server, it's not really working out, but we're trying to make it happen. So we were going over the list. Yeah, I talked about Tomb King 20's list. Oh man. So Lord of Skull's having a heart attack over here in the middle of the table. Hope he's all right. But we have a little flair in Tomb King's list. He has a War Dog Moirax with no lightning locks, which is interesting. I mentioned that during the list breakdown. No lightning locks on that guy. Twin Graviton Pulsars. Not a weapon choice that I've ever seen. Better ask why the Moirax over the twin autocannon. And I'll tell you. So I was talking to Tomb King before the game started. He said, this is a little piece of tech in here. A little piece of secret tech. Hey, looks like we got you in.
So funny story, Trevi, it was a lowercase k.
That'll do it.
So I will blame you. Okay, cool. I'm in the list.
So it's a War Dog Moirax, Graviton Pulsars, and he said that's some secret tech to fight Centurions. Because if you know, the Graviton Pulsar, it's a D6 shot heavy gun, 2 damage, -3 AP, but if you shoot something with a 3 up armor save or better, it becomes damage 4. So it's winning those. It's wounding those Centurions on 2s, punching through most of their armor save, and one-shotting them if it goes through.
So are we going to see a Centurion in this game?
We are not. So we're going to see how much damage it does too. One of these triple Lord of Skulls.
Is this correct? Am I looking at a 3 Lord of Skulls, 3 Venom Crawlers, a Lord Disco, Master of Possession? He's got the usual the Brimstone Horrors for his, I'm assuming, his compulsory troop choices. Oh, that is a nasty list. 3 Lord of Skulls. Something that 3TS can give you in the course of this game is you can easily run 3 Lord of Skulls and not have to give GW $1,000 or a liver. So, quite nice to see.
Yeah,
against a Trine Knight with a War Dog and a Disco. Wow, this is going to be a chaosy battle.
It's going to be intense. I'm so excited we get to stream this game because it is 6 Titanic models on the table fighting it out, hitting each other with enormously oversized axes and swords. So it's going to be good.
And I'm excited to see what secondaries they're going to pick. I mean, do you think they're going to take Big Game Hunter? Both of them? I don't know.
I'm not sure. They might decide not to. They might decide against it. Maybe
that would
Headhunter.
We call that
Butcher's
playing
Bill.
hard mode.
Yeah, the BM is to take Butcher's Bill and just tell your opponent you're going to kill 2 of their knights in 1 turn, right?
That's fair enough.
That's the mic drop right there.
They do have other models. They have some Marines. So this is actually pretty interesting. So I actually watched Tomb King's game. He is, I believe, from the old St. Louis out here in the Midwest. And he plays in the Lord Marshall Conference, which is always cool to represent some of our Midwestern brethren. And he played against another one of our Midwestern, Scott, and he faced the Imperial Fist, cheesy indirect fire delightfulness. And in that game, the Tomb King with the 3 knights, the Imperial Fist was able to knock out 1 knight a turn. But he still tried to play for secondary, so it was a relatively close game. But Imperial Fist indirect fire against knights, you wouldn't think it's good? Pretty good.
Well, you have +1 damage up against vehicles, turns out. Pretty solid.
Yeah, first turn, an additional -1 modifier for being a heavy, and then +1 damage against vehicles.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Thank goodness they've lost the ability to get that +1 damage for the entirety of the game. Woof.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
They still get the +1 to wound strat, which is pretty strong against vehicles. You can get +3 to wound on bolt guns against those guys.
Every now and again, GW will fix one of their mistakes, so it's always nice to see.
It could be a little more often, but it's okay. We'll take what we can get.
I feel like they could probably send hot fixes out quicker.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. We'll give it to him this time. So Guy Appleton, also known as Bruce Stallion, appropriately the red player in this game, is playing.
Can we discuss? Is that a real name? Is his name really Bruce Stallion?
Either that or Guy Appleton. So
either one of those names, I feel like he's like a villain in a Rocky movie.
I know which one.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's very different kinds of villains, right? Like Bruce Stallion, he's a knockdown, drag out fighter kind of guy. Guy Appleton, he's like the mean businessman, right?
I feel like they both could be porn star names. I feel like they could both be very good porn star names. What's your name? Bruce Stallion.
Bruce
Stallion. Oh God. Oh God. I know what this is going to turn into.
Yep.
I don't think he's a real doctor.
Well, Bruce Stallion in this game is riding onto the battlefield on the back of 3 Lords of Skulls.
If you have to ride in the battle on something, it might as well be a Lord of Skulls.
They have a big platform on the back for you to jump into. And they have a big gun, and they have a big axe, and they have a big points decrease from chapter approved. And they're not afraid to flaunt it. So these are 3 big ol' scary knight equivalents. They're more wounds, they're harder to kill. They have about the same firepower and equivalent melee, or better melee because they have a big melee weapon. But the big difference is that they are affected by Chaos Space Marine stratagems, which Chaos Knights aren't. So you can potentially see these guys buffed up with the Master of Possession. He could potentially,
and it's a demon too, right?
They are also demons. Let's see if he has his. Oh, he doesn't have his psychic powers listed down yet. But you can warp time them, I believe. You can get the double move going. You can give them +1 invulnerable save. You can give them,
No, totally balanced. Totally balanced.
Yeah, everything's fine. It's all fine.
So this is T5S2 Pod 2. Is that right?
We're in Pod 2.
So this is the one. This is the one I was not invited to. Got it.
Right,
I just want to make sure that I'm not in this one. Okay.
Yeah, and honestly, we're filling up pod spots like crazy. Pod 3 is already filled and it's about to start. Pod 4 almost entirely filled up during our stream last night.
Is this the 5.5 hour stream?
Well, I streamed for 14 hours yesterday, so it was a lot of streaming. So Pod 4 almost entirely filled up. There's only 1 or 2 spaces left, and honestly, I haven't checked my messages since I started this stream. They might be gone. Which means we'll be moving on to Pod 5. If anybody wants to join, hit us up on Facebook, facebook.com/tacticaltortoise. Send us a message. We'll get you on the wait list. And it looks like we're going to be launching 2 more pods this week, and maybe a third. We might be up to 5 pods here, which is insanity.
At this point, if you are watching Travis streams, you see that he does do 14 hours a day. Ken, I highly advise you go to his Patreon and become a subscriber, because he obviously does a metric ton of content.
Absolutely.
I don't think there's anyone else. I don't think there's anyone else in the cyberwebs right now that is putting out as much content as you are. Like, I literally wake up in the morning and go, 5.5 hours. God bless him. God bless him.
Yeah, and kudos to my co-host for that game, Shumacord, playing the Nurgle in Pod 1 with the Blight Haulers. He jumped in with me on that one, and I think it was a little more than he bargained for, which is fair. It was a long night.
Have you discussed how well you did in the Canadian quarantine tournament?
Yeah, actually, the announcement went up while we were doing that live stream, so we talked about it a little bit, and appreciate the chat for giving me some congrats. Yeah, I took second place somehow with pure Tyranids.
you had an easy bracket. I'm gonna hold down easy bracket.
No, I'm gonna disagree. I went first every game. That's the
okay.
clincher.
I hear that. I do hear that helps with Tyranids.
It does a little bit. It helps. Yeah, I played against 3 gun lines in a row, and I went first into the gun lines every game. That's a big deal. You could go Tyranids like to go second a lot of times, but if you're getting shot at, you wanna wrap those guns as soon as possible.
So Trevi, I played against your second round opponent.
I heard he
won
smashed
by a couple.
I tied, actually. Round 2, I tied.
Yeah, tied.
That one, yeah. I streamed all my games, so you can watch that game. Absolutely the best game from that tournament that I played. Super cool, super technical. We played through to round 6. Almost nothing on the table died. It was all movement-based. Very cool game. Absolutely recommend going and watching it.
Hands down, probably one of the coolest players you could ever play against. Also, funny story, very, very Australian.
Super Australian.
It's very, I can honestly say at this point, I've never played against an Australian in my 25 years playing 40K competitively, and I finally got to check the block yesterday, and he was an absolute privilege. And we were able to discuss slang while we were playing. So the Australians are absolutely incredible. So that if you guys ever get a chance on TTS, try to play against a foreign guy, because you will learn new ways to swear, and I highly advise it. But yeah, his list was crazy with the triple Death Watch with mixed units. So he had Terminators, Bikes, and Storm Shield veterans in his Death Watch. And it was crazy because he was able to teleport them consistently around the board. So also a list that you don't see very often. So it was kind of one of those things where he kind of caught me with my pants down. I'm man enough to admit it. I wasn't fully aware of what was happening until it was too late. And then we had to toss the GGs. So one great thing about TTS, like I'm always going to preach and harp, is you will get to play against cool players, and you get to play against cool lists that you might not see in your meta. And I can tell you guys, if you do face against the old Death Watch, they're going to throw some crazy stuff at you.
Cool.
Oh, yeah. We were trying to get the what mission it was.
Uh-oh.
We figured it out.
I'm just going to go with... Yeah.
No, we were trying to see
what's happening. Isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, number 6.
They literally SOS like they were on an island.
Cool. I'm just going to go with Dawn of War, because that's equally bad, but simpler.
Yeah. They shot up an SOS for me, which is hilarious. They were wondering what mission they were supposed to play, but they figured it out. It's all in the Discord there, ladies and gentlemen. Turns out, we posted the missions beforehand. So, we should talk about this Lord of Skulls list. Yeah, Deneth, sick opponent.
Let's do it.
It was awesome to play against him. Fortunately, I know how to play 40k, so I know what Death Dodge do, so I wasn't
Okay, well, that's rude.
I mean,
that's a little rude.
I didn't lose that game.
No need for that.
Say that.
You tied it.
We tied. I did make a big mistake. I didn't
Well-
screen very well. My screens were not optimal, and I could have won that game. I think if I'd screened better. Mistakes were made.
And I'm gonna stand by.
I think they're calling for me.
I didn't go first.
There we go. I was like, he's at a commentary. We're going to be full front stage. Okay, I have to deploy first, correct?
Yeah, you do.
Oh, we have to deploy our missions too.
Okay.
Well,
So,
big gun.
Yep.
let me
Figured
just
that was an
reset
obvious
my
one.
settings here. Triple Lord of Skulls. We're obviously bringing the super heavy
Triple Lord of
detachment
Skulls.
to bring in the three Lord of Skulls, right? We have then a Heretic Astartes attachment. So this is mostly Heretic Astartes. We do have a little demon presence in here too. I love the inclusion. This inclusion here, 3 Venom Crawlers, and these guys. I mean, they get a lot of crap. The poor Venom Crawler, the poor adorable little Venom Crawler. People
Would you call
denigrate
it poor and
this
little?
guy. They're not enormous. Like this Lord Discordant is almost the same size as a Venom Crawler. But what
I'm a
Venom
firm
Crawlers,
believer that size doesn't matter.
yeah, it's how you use your venomous demon engine, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Gross.
It is also referred to as a venomous demon engine.
Yeah, that's what I call it. You're right. The cool thing about
Are we
this
back to porn star names?
the cool thing about these guys is that they have they have a battle cannon. They've effectively they have 2 D3 shot, strength 8, D3 damage -2 weapons. That shoot 36 inches. They're assault weapons, so they can move and shoot for free. They only hit on 4s, but you have a Lord Discordant who's going to give them +1 to hit. They're also not bad in melee. They come in at starting at a bunch of different attacks, strength 6 and 8. With a bunch of different multi-damage. You can use the reroll hits and wounds ability on them. They're just swinging 6 times with 2 to 3 damage apiece. Pretty solid.
What are their points?
115 points for this little guy.
115.
For T7, 10 wounds. He's got the 5+ demon save. He can heal wounds when he kills people. Excuse me. He heals wounds all the time because he's a demon engine, and he heals wounds if he kills people. He also buffs your summoning, which I don't think will ever matter, but he.
I don't think it's gonna matter.
I don't think it's gonna be a big deal. But they're able to operate in 2 phases of the game, right? Because they can shoot very well. Battle cannons again. It's a freaking Lehman Russ gun. They can shoot, and they punch in melee.
They're no slouch in close combat.
Right. Plus,
so what are they? I'm assuming they're what? They got a claw, so they're what? Strength 12, neg 3.
So it's
flat 3.
They have their claws are only +2 strength actually. They're strength 8, but they come in at neg 3, flat 3 damage. So still pretty solid. Not amazing, but okay.
And how many? And how many attacks do they?
They start at 4 attacks with the claws, probably +1 because you're charging or being charged because you're a Heretic Astartes. And then they have a Tendrils attack, which starts out at strength 6, -2, 2 damage, and they just get 2 attacks with that for free every time they fight. So they come in at 7-ish attacks, all multi-damage.
I'm going to start saying 115 points. Overpriced. Let's be honest. Overpriced.
Get it out of here. There's a corn player in my meta who loves playing these off the wall corn lists, and he loves these little guys. And the first time I played against him, I was like, oh, what is this little demon engine guy? Whatever. What's he gonna do? And then he kills an entire unit in shooting, and then he fights you in melee, and he kills a heavy. You're like, what are you doing? What is this little idiot over here? So if I can quote, go ahead.
I'll say if I can quote every Space Marine player in every single meta across the world, we didn't get anything good. Space Marines are just better than us. Chaos Marines have nothing, and I'm like, I feel like they have some good things.
The pod 1 that you're in gets to win some of these if they win the event, so that's cool.
Hey,
but the cool thing about them, right, is that we're playing the 2020 missions. We have these disparate objectives that you have to move forward and fight over. They're not a huge portion of your list. You don't have a lot of throwaway units, especially with triple Lord of Skulls. There's not much in that list you can throw to sit on objectives. So you have these three little dudes with 36-inch range, really solid guns that can just run out and grab those. And if you try to go fight them with a deep striking unit or something, I mean, they're just going to kill you in melee. I love this inclusion. I think it's super cool. And it's very unique. You never see these guys on the table, and I think it's awesome, actually. We also have a Lord Discordant. Oh my gosh. Lord of the Skulls, true to form, destroying everything on the table with their enormous bulk. Might be having some problem actually fitting them all in the deployment zone, so that's interesting. So obviously Lord Discordant is a pretty straightforward guy. Interestingly, most of the time, you see three Lords Discordant with the Lord of Skulls a lot of times because they actually are, their line of sight to them is usually blocked by the Lord of Skulls. They're so big.
Correct.
And they're so chonky, there's not a lot of space underneath them. If you're at an angle at all, you usually can't see the Lord Discordant.
It is a very intimidating model when you see it. I remember when it came out in, I think it was, 2013 when it came out in the beginning of 6th edition for Apocalypse. They were massive models. I think, pound for pound, I think the biggest model GW did up to that point, outside of Forge World. I think those were probably the biggest ones. And actually, even to this day, what do you think? You think they are the biggest, bulkiest model?
Some of the terrain sets might be bigger, right? But
oh, come on!
In terms of,
That's not fair.
plastic on the table, I don't know of anything larger than they are for a plastic kit.
It's bigger than a Tesseract Vault.
Yeah, for sure.
It's definitely bigger than a Wraith Knight. I mean, GW
it's
kind
bigger
of
than any of
the,
these
the
knights,
biggest
right?
model. I mean, you can look at it, how much
2 or 3 times the size.
I think they're what, a good 14 inches long and maybe 10 inches wide. That's huge. 3-story.
Insanity. Yeah, they just block up
and
so much real estate. It's hard to get in on the Chaos player side of the table without engaging these guys, so they can hit you with their huge axe.
Yeah, this is going to be I think this game is going to be a quick one way or the other. Yeah. I think this is either the Knights are going to be able to blow them up, or those things are getting there.
Yeah, we're going to see 1 or 2 rounds of shooting, and then there's going to be one quick round of melee, and the game's going to be basically over. I know Tomb King was saying that his only chance to win this game is going first and not getting blown up by the Lords of Skulls, and hopefully getting the opportunity to blow one up himself. And it looks like he won the roll.
He got the chance. Yeah, he won the roll.
So the rest of the list is pretty interesting. We have a patrol detachment. How often do you see a patrol detachment in competitive 40K, Colin?
Outside of Dark Eldar, and even then, never.
Yeah, right. A patrol detachment with a unit of horrors. Looks like we got the brimstone models today, but I think they're just horrors. To fill out the obligatory troops. And then we have a Bloodmaster. So that's the character Herald Bloodletter. And he gives +1 strength to all demon units within 6 inches. All Khorne demons. Turns out, Khorne Lord of Skulls are in fact Khorne demons.
I was going to say, does that hashtag affect the Lord of Skulls?
It sure does.
So they're strength 20 now, I think? Is that what they are?
That sounds right. Yeah, let's take a look at their data sheet. Khorne Lord of Skulls with its big ×2 strength cleaver, coming in at strength 22.
22. Wow. Well,
with the +1 bonus.
those toughness 11 models that GW is producing.
There's one combo in the game to get to T11, and these guys will still wounded on 2s. So
still
get absolutely
get
absolutely fucked, Brayarth Ashmantle.
Funny story. Still can't kill Gazgul in one turn.
Still can't kill Gazgul in one turn. Despite the fact that they do 6 damage a hit, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But the other cool combo in the list, right, is that I didn't mention this when I was talking about the Venom Crawlers, but that strength 8 on their guns is actually because their ranged weapon is +2 strength, is strength +2, and they start at strength 6, which means you get the buff from Bloodmaster, you're getting a strength 9 with those battle cannons. So these guys are going to be wounding those knights on 3s.
Chaos doesn't have anything good, man. I'm sorry. I don't understand why these players are even running these armies. Just play Tau like the rest of us.
Just quit.
Just give up. Give up on life. Give up on life. Just play Tau drones. We'll be fine.
So these the Lords of Skulls also come in with some pretty hefty shooting as well. We mentioned it earlier a little bit, but they come in with a Gatling cannon, heavy 12, strength 8. Otherwise, it's sort of standard Gatling cannon, -2 damage on that thing. So it's a little bit better than the Avenger on the Despoilers.
You know what I miss? Did you ever see the Smash Bro list of the early 8th edition? That was a one Lord of Skull with the Death Guard Primarch, and then
we're measuring to see here if this Lord of Skulls can ever leave this ruin. That
That's
he's in.
actually a good point.
I think that they've determined that he can if he rotates. And
do they have a rule that they can go through terrain? I kind of assume they would have that rule.
They cannot go through ruins. I mean, fun fact though, they can go over ruins. Just like everything in the game can. So I think if he advances and gets a big advance roll and he's next to that wall, I think he can clear it. But I'm not. But I think they determined that he can go around the corner.
Yeah, he's gonna have to do a hard right.
Yeah,
hard left.
But Guy Appleton here, actually, literally running out of places in his deployment zone to place these models.
Can we laugh at the fact that he's actually given the Lord of Skulls a cover save?
Yeah, he's almost there. Yeah, if he's shooting from past the L in the center, he absolutely has a cover save.
I got a phone call. I will be right back.
All right, yeah, you got it.
Stand by.
Yeah, I'll just keep talking in the chat here. Welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us. Jack Vincent, thanks for coming in. Definitely interesting lists, and I'm excited to see them on table. Super happy that we're getting to stream this big Stompy Robot fight. Captain Woodrow, what's the best place to see lists for those who joined late? Yeah, I didn't have time to put them in the description, unfortunately. But why don't I throw a link in chat here? There is a post on our Patreon page, patreon.com/tacticaltortoise, and the post about the Pod 2 list breakdown has a link to the list document. So let me grab that, and I'll throw it in the chat. Unfortunately, this was a little last minute. Like we said before, last night's stream went super long, and we ended up finishing at 3 a.m. on my time, and I actually only woke up a couple hours ago, so I didn't have as much time to plan this as I would like. So I apologize for not having the list in the description. Yeah, Ben Starkey, love those Chaos Stompas. I also would like to point out, this is something, every time the Knights see the table in TTS, how gorgeous these Knight models are. Somebody took an immense amount of time to model these guys, and they are absolutely beautiful. They have little glowy eyes, little glowy red eyes. They have glowy bits on all the guns. They have this cool custom color scheme, this black and gold and red. Works for both Imperium and Chaos, I think. It's very Black Legion, but also it's kind of clean. And you have the heraldry if it wants to be an Imperial Knight. They look gorgeous. They're so beautiful. So we were talking about the ranged damage output of the Lord of Skulls. It's roughly equivalent to a Knight. They have the Gatling cannon equivalent, the Hades Gatling cannon, and then they also have a Gore Storm cannon. I'm sorry, these guys have Ichor cannons, which are heavy D6, strength 7. It's -4 AP for D3 damage. I think they bring that in just to be a little bit cheaper. The Demon Gore cannon is a more expensive version that comes in at strength 10. Yeah, at max 3 damage. That is only it's a flamer effectively though. And it looks like Bruce Stallion here, also known as Guy Appleton, screening out his Lords of Skulls to stop the Knights from getting in. You can combo off the Rampager to be super fast to try to get it on turn 1. And if he's able to do that, These Titanic units absolutely mince each other in melee. The damage output of the Lord of Skulls is insane, but also the damage output of these Rampagers is just off the chain. And I think the attrition's in pretty heavily in Tomb King's favor if he's able to get those guys in and take that a night out on turn 1.
Exploding flamethrowers.
Yeah.
So thanks again for everybody in the chat for joining us. Hope you have an exciting game today between these 6 Titanic monsters. Just beating it out in the middle of the table. This game's going to be sick. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be bloody and over quickly. And we have some very cool inclusions from both players in these lists. We're seeing a Graviton Pulsar Moirax on Tomb King's side against this triple Venom Crawler tech coming out of Bruce Stallion here. Strength 9 battle cannons, turns out. Nothing to sneeze at. Unfortunately, he has placed it pretty far away from his Lord Discordant. Which makes it make it a little awkward for that guy to give them +1 to hit. But hopefully they'll be okay. He has enough shots. It's 63 shots from the 3 of those. That's going to be a lot of damage.
Okay, hopefully you didn't miss me too much.
I was distraught and borderline suicide.
I do apologize. Well, that's actually the response I kind of want from people whenever I'm gone, so it works out well.
Okay. Oh, no, I meant now that you're here.
That's a little mean. I don't think that's needed, but okay. I respect it. A little harsh but fair. Okay, so it looks like we're still doing some movements.
They're just
put 7 models on the board.
Yeah, well, but part of the issue was that the Lord of Skulls didn't fit anywhere. That was a lot of
correct.
Ben Starkey in the chat commenting. I always wonder what the chaff in these lists are thinking when they get dropped in the front. They're like, well, it wasn't a good life, but I liked it. I'm here for a good time, not a long time, boys. We're about to get killed by an Avenger Gatling Cannon.
I don't think the Avenger Gatling Cannon is going to do it. I think that might not be the tool you need to do.
Well, to kill these Brimstone Horrors, maybe.
Oh, those are dead. But I don't think he really cares too much about those.
No, but he does want to stop the super fast combo on the Rampager from getting into a Knight on turn 1, right? Getting into a Lord of Skulls.
I was thinking the Lord Disco. Those things are pretty nasty in close combat too. So you gotta be careful of those.
And I believe we do have Warp Time picked for Tomb King here, so he's going to be able to double move those guys. He put his tokens down. Oh yeah, here they are. He's got Warp Time Death Hex, so he can get rid of the invulnerable save on one of those Knights if he needs to.
So do I see 0 CP for the Lord of Skulls player?
We may not have scored it up yet, but this is a low CP list. I think it's coming in at like 3.
Yeah. I'm seeing some real shocking secondaries picked for both of these players. For some reason they both picked Big Game Hunter. Who knew that would be chosen?
Yeah. Let's go over
Tomb
those.
King is going to rock. Tomb King's going to rock ground control and old school because he's obviously going first. It's obviously a smart choice. Interesting. Oh wait, no, it's like they're both Tomb King. Uh-oh.
I think the left-hand side here. I think that's gonna be Bruce Stallion's pick.
I'm gonna probably say 2. He actually wants old school. I think he's pretty confident he's gonna be able to kill something.
Yeah, well, there is that Moirax, right out in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna get to shoot something light. He's got all these Venom Crawlers. It seems to me he almost has the greater shooting output than Tomb King does, which is not something that you'd see from a triple light list being outshot. But 3 Lord of Skulls plus 3 Venom Crawlers, that's a lot of heavy guns.
I think he's pretty happy to go first at this turn. I think whoever went first is going to be a big guy. These are very model few lists, so it's going to be very interesting to see how much damage they can do to each other.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Looks like keeping this Rampager pretty conservative. Oh, never mind. We're not.
Nope.
That was just half of it. Okay.
Get on in there, boys.
So unfortunately, I don't have a lot of games in under my belt against Chaos Knights, and I'm not 100% up on their turn 1 charge combo.
Usually they do have kind of like the full speed ahead thing that regular Knights
Yeah,
have.
the full tilt.
Full tilts. So they kind of have a lot of the mirror of what the Imperial got when it comes to stratagem. So I mean, you're able to get at least one knight up there pretty quickly. I mean, it's good, but the issue with Knights is there's just so many ways other armies can handle them. And a knight is a great model, but it is fragile against a hard matchup.
Yep.
So it's kind of one of those things where they're still at this point I'd probably say mid-tier for when it comes to competition, just like their Imperial brothers. I mean, I think both knights from both the Imperial and Chaos side are always going to struggle in the meta until there's a rebalance of 9th edition if that does happen.
Yep.
And they actually ITC took that into effect when they were doing their secondaries. They actually made the secondaries more friendly for pure knight players, which I thought was really good. Yeah. I think knights needed it.
It was annoying to always start 8 points down as soon as you played knights into somebody.
Correct. Yeah, correct.
Yeah,
now that they can hold.
Mm-hmm. A lot of those kind of fringe ski lists have been significantly improved by the new ITC secondaries for sure.
Correct. And it's pretty amazing how they've been able to actually kind of balance a lot of lists moving into the later parts of 8th edition with secondaries and missions. It's kind of nice that our ITC overlords, Reese and Frontline Gaming, are able to do it.
So looking through the Chaos abilities here, it looks like we can. I'm not sure if Tomb King has, but I imagine that he's full tilted this turn. He could potentially combo in a Demonic Vigor with +2 movement. With the Quicksilver Throne to give them an additional +1 to advance and charge.
So good, but yeah, he's got the good screen out with those horrors, though. So, you're looking at a good screen.
Yeah, and Tomb King was mentioning in the chat there that he wants to ideally charge the horrors with his charge bonuses and then consolidate into the Lord of Skulls. That's going to be tough if Tomb King or if Bruce Stallion here picks his casualties correctly. And I don't think he's going to be able to get the distance to get all the way around the side of the Brimstone formation if he doesn't kill him.
And correct me if I'm wrong, because I usually am, but a Lord of Skulls is generally not something you want to consolidate into and to allow to get a free swing on you. It's usually not something you want to do. But this will be interesting. That model is pretty good in close combat.
Yeah, turns out.
And I'm sorry, I kind of missed you. Are they 500 or 600?
Who? The Lord of Skulls?
Lord of Skulls.
Yeah. They are. Are you ready for this?
I'm sitting down.
Neither of those things you said. They are 430 points.
So they're the exact same price as a knight.
Yeah, just about. Yep. The Rampager comes in a little cheaper. I think the Rampager's down to 370 or something like that. 387. So he's about 50 points cheaper, but the other two knights on the table are more expensive than a Lord of Skulls. Significantly. 50 to 70 points more expensive.
So I'm expecting, now that we have all these pods starting up, okay, boys, we're going to have to start seeing some more Lord of Skull lists. There's no reason not to take them.
It's actually interesting because they're not... I think the terrain hampers them a little bit. And we do post that, we do use the same terrain setup for each game. We use this BCB terrain setup just because it's fairly balanced. Mm-hmm. As we've seen in this Dawn of War deployment, where your deployment zone is a little constricted, these guys had trouble placing. And this guy over on the left-hand flank, next to the Lord of Discordant, he's going to have trouble getting into the fight for a turn or two. And that's going to be a big problem for Guy Appleton here. I should just start calling him the red player. It's
I 100% agree.
Too many names.
He needs to be forever known as Bruce Stallion.
Bruce Stallion.
BS. I mean, that's better. We just break it down as an acronym. Yeah. Bruce Stallion. Yeah. I actually like
Lord of Skulls player over here.
The BS Lord of Skulls player. I actually like his list because he is able with the Venoms that he is able to handle a lot of like MSU. Because he's able to get a lot of shots at a lot of different targets and then have the threat of close combat too. So, the one issue with like 3 Chaos Knights is, you're always going to kind of struggle with MSU because there's just so much little stuff out there and then line of sight blocking. But with the Lord of Skulls being able to, shoot, charge their own things, and then having the Venoms as backup, I like it. It's good. He's also got his 1 Lord Disco that he's going to need for his hard advance and charge. I mean, it's an interesting list.
Yeah.
Nothing's in there right?
I mean, I figure they're both going to have maxed out big game by the end of turn 1. So
yeah, that's an easy one. That's a gimme for sure. I do like the maneuver secondary picks here for both of them. Bruce Stallion really relying on the resilience of his list to take that ground control. We'll see if he has enough physical units left to score 4 objectives at the end of the game. But it does seem to me like these Lords of Skulls are going to be significantly harder to kill than these Chaos Knights.
Yeah, no, it's going to be one of those things where it's like, hey, let's see how you roll. Let's see what you get. If one of them gets overly lucky, does a lot of saves, you can start seeing these things bracket, and then, oh God, who knows, blow up. I love how I love how the Knight player is going for a hard push in the center, but I mean, kind of like what I said, Knights can blow up.
Yeah,
they do 2d6 with a d6 mortals. He's got a lot of stuff in there. I think he's going all in on the number 5. So he's kind of maybe created himself a fatal funnel.
I do love that
he's
just going to force the fight in the middle, right? It's going to be one and done. He's going to try to kill 1 Lord of Skulls this turn. Hope he can weather the second one. If he kills that, we'll see if the last one can trade with these two knights here. But he's made it very difficult to get in on his ranged knights, which is exactly what he needs to do. Between the Moirax and his characters in the center.
I love it. I think it's a good all in. I think you have to be careful. You're fighting the bat now. You're protected from your flanks for shooting, even as a Knight player. But even with these Lord of Skulls, I mean, he's now put his entire army on objective 5, which means a few lucky explosion rolls. You could see that just get absolutely obliterated. Right. It's basically popcorn. I mean, we could see popcorn.
Yeah, we did see that in round 1 when we casted your game against the Chaos Knights, and we saw 3 Knight explosions rolled. One was a roll into a reroll.
Let's see here. He had 1 Knight blow up. He burned a CP to reroll it, and obviously it's going to blow up again because a 6 turns into a 6. And then the second Knight obviously blew up, and he rolled another 6 into a 6 on a CP reroll. So he was rolling 6s pretty hot, but not where he wanted them to roll. But you could be surprised how easy games get when Knights start blowing up on their own lines.
Oh, for sure.
Okay. So I think we're in the shooting phase now. Oh, no, we're in probably the second phase.
But we also have the pick of, speaking of maneuver secondaries, though, we were just talking about, we also have the pick of Engineers from Tomb King, which I love. He has 2 unupgraded Chaos Space Marine squads, and 1 with an autocannon that's hiding in the back here to take some random pot shots, hiding on the left-hand corner by objective 4.
I do not think the Lord of Skulls have indirect fire, so I think that's probably a good choice. I think he knows that objective. Yep, I think objective 2 is pretty safe, unless a Knight blows up.
Right, and it's going to take them a while to get there. They can't afford to just go after Engineers, because if they do that, they're taking damage from these Chaos Knights and not doing anything to them.
I think realistically, Tomb King's looking at it and he's going, listen, this is going to be, if this game goes beyond turn 3, he's going to get 4 points from Engineers.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to see this game is going to be determined in the next 2. Oh, look at that charge! He is going to see this game is going to be. This game is going to be quick.
He's it looks like he's pushing. He's pushing hard for
objective 1.
He's pushing hard for objective 1. He can bonus.
Crucible Champions, he has to put a character on each objective. He's already got 1 on 5. He's got 1 on 1. And
I'm not sure. I imagine one of his knight is going to be a character here.
Yeah, but he's already got the Lord Disco.
But where's he going to go with that guy?
I think he probably should have left 1 Knight a little bit further back.
I think it's the Rampager, though, so he can't afford to keep that guy on objective, right, and just get shot. That's not good.
I know, but if you want that bonus point, because otherwise you have to put one character on each objective, and I don't see how he's going to get an objective on the first side.
Maybe the play was for a death hex to try to knock the invuln save off one of these guys. It's not looking at me like that went off. I didn't see the token down. Yeah.
Yep.
We're gonna move into the shooting phase here. I'm gonna put the player mics back up, and so we can hear what they're shooting at.
When I use it, when he takes.
I like it.
So.
It says when a Chaos Knights model. So I think it still counts as a Chaos Knights model.
Yeah, absolutely, it does. Yeah, you can use it on the products.
Okay, yeah, because everybody else is already rerolling. So.
Yeah.
All right, so I got to roll his one that's special, separate. The D6 shots for that one. Red is going to be the boosted.
Yep.
Oh dear lord.
Oh, fuck me.
So that was a shot roll for
I am only strength 6
rapid fire battle cannon.
Yeah, I know.
Big ol' 11 shots, and he's used the ability to
wound roll.
Yeah, he's used the ability on the red cannon, the cannon with the red dice, to buff up its strength and damage, which I forget now.
Yep. Oh, but those were those 2s. Reroll.
Oh boy.
Oh, that's a lot of damage.
Let's see what I do on wounds though.
Yeah, looks like we got a trail of destruction there to
Only
get those rerolls.
Oh,
That's a lot. That's a lot of fails.
Oh my god. All right.
Do I want to CP one of these?
Oh, I think we're going to see a Lord of Skull get bracketed.
So 4 saves, AP -3.
Each one does 5 wounds.
Yes.
Does 4 not win these guys?
I'm gonna spend 1 CP for the 6 up field.
You need a 3?
Roger that.
So this was his armor save.
Oh,
No.
I've got the saves, haven't I?
Yeah, this is his wound roll.
Yep.
Yeah.
The
No, that was his armor save.
oh, was it?
That was
So you got
his.
6 up saves?
Yeah.
4 6-up saves.
They're calculating how much damage he's getting.
No, we're rolling armor saves now.
Oh no, now it's armor.
So actually, it looks like Death Hex did go through. We just didn't put
As
the
I said,
token
he's a
out
one-shot.
because he's saving on armor instead of
He works.
I'm a fan of this.
saving on armor instead of the other thing.
Okay.
They have a feel no pain, right?
He spent a stratagem to give them a 6+ DPR.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's taking 15.
He just made 5 of them,
That's pretty strong.
so he took 15 wounds.
Oh,
Right off the bat.
casual 15.
13. So I just.
And there's 1 point for big game.
He did it. That is a solid round of shooting from that 90 spoiler.
There we go. That's it. Fuck
Got
me.
13 left. Not
Sorry,
bad.
I'm not allowed to swear, Trevor.
Yeah, no, you're fine. I definitely can swear where I'm at.
I don't know too many places where you are not happy with that kind of situation.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
I'll
I mean,
actually,
I'll take-
really good saves
this is
here
the guy
from
who's
that.
gonna
Like, with 11 shots.
Oh,
probably could have
sorry. He has
done
a warlord trait to reroll hits against
Um,
things. That's why he's not using that path of destruction.
So let's.
Okay, he's going to probably save it for one of those
now.
Gatling cannons back then.
And the regular battle cannon.
I think he's going to be able to kill one
I think I
of
wanna
those
shoot the Gatling
skulls this
Knight,
turn.
Yeah.
Also, and then
let
probably
me
put
tell
some
you
wounds on.
wounded. So,
Cool. So
let's go
I wonder
with.
if he did miss a wound roll there because we did see a 4 in that pool on his one of his
Oh,
battle cannons.
because
Their
everything's
strength 8 versus
negative.
8, unless I'm missing something.
Yeah.
Sadly, we cannot interfere too much in their game. It's on them.
Yeah, until the end of the phase, when resolving the attack, maybe the range weapon against that unit worsen the AP.
I mean, I'll interfere. I'm not.
You backseat driver. You never drive to a convention with
Well,
he will backseat drive you the
Lyle
entire
Dixon
way.
campaigning in the chat. Hashtag free the castle in 2020.
oh wait, this guy's got no invul.
Get that volcano
Listen.
lance back in the game, dude. Blow up these Lords of Skulls, man.
Listen, Lyle, listen. I'm going to tell you some real truth right now.
So
okay? The Castellan back in spring of 2018 was broken as shit. Okay, I think they need to not free that thing. That thing destroyed so much stuff when everyone else was still running index lists.
And my one stubber is going to shoot these guys out front.
I've actually only played against one Castellan in my career so far.
Well, you didn't start playing until last summer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you kind of missed the big wave of those bad boys, but it was basically most games were Castellan versus Castellan. Let's just put it like that.
Sounds like fun. Fun for the whole
Oh
family.
no, it was terrible. Still haunts my dreams.
Oh, okay. Looks like Team King is rolling out his Gatling cannon shots and forgot that one of his guns was going to be +1 strength and damage. Whoops.
Oh snap!
This is an immense amount of
See,
firepower
Trevi?
coming out of these big guns here.
That's what they do. First turn's pretty nice when you're night player. It's a lot of ones and twos, though.
Good thing he's rerolling.
That's a lot. That's a good thing he's rerolling.
Solid conversion, but I think he was hoping for a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
These are 4s.
It's a big Avenger
fives.
Gatling cannon. Yeah, we're looking at 5s.
Still 7. Solid 7's not bad.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, they're flat 2 apiece, or are they 3?
Especially because 3 of them are going to be 3 flat. The other 4 are going to be 2 flat. Could very well see this Lord of Skulls just get gimped immediately.
Yeah. I mean, it's already bracketed.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, it's 15 from one shot is insanity. Insanity damage going on over here.
Hey, he's making some saves. Oh, looks like he made 1.
So, Lyle Dixon in the chat also asking, how impactful would it be if the Castellan was unnerved right now? Given that the meta is moving so strongly towards Horde armies, that it's not very good.
I would say, I'm just going to safely assume everyone wants to know my opinion on everything. So I would say it would not be as bad as it was at the original onset of 8th edition. I would say Ynnari could also use a little bit of love. So all the power lists back in the day. And the argument is that the power lists that were in early 8th were powerless because a lot of other armies were still index. So, I think that it could be unnerved. But, I mean, the big unnerf on it is the decrease in points, because that was where they really kind of nerfed it. Because I think they added 150 points to them, which kind of eliminated a lot of the Imperial lists that were being run. Because what you would do is you would take a Loyal 32, and you would take a Castellan, and then you would take, you'd mix and match Imperial Detachment. So I think with the point increase, that it was harsh but fair. But I don't think in the meta nowadays, I think now that every army's flushed out, especially with Psychic Awakening, they'd be as bad as they used to be. That's my opinion, but Trevor, what do you think?
Yeah, we are seeing a return to sort of combined arms list, I think, because the heavy armor is good at clearing hordes. A lot of these big heavy vehicles are strong in that matchup. You're looking at things like repulsors and that kind of equivalent. And I would be worried that if those become a little bit more popular and we see those start to try to push out these horde lists and these board control lists, if that guy comes back in and he that one model closes off so many other models from being playable, that's what I would be worried about. If you can kill your opponent's 2 most expensive tanks with your big invulnerable Titan and then not take any damage from all the little orc boys running around,
correct.
It's probably still worth bringing. And then we're back to nobody can play tanks anymore, right? So it's just such a polarizing model. I'd be worried about it.
And a lot of the issues with the Castellan wasn't necessarily with the Castellan itself. It was a lot of with like the Guard, because the Guard back then were able to basically CP farm, which is basically what you need to feed a Castellan. So as of right now, when you start doing a lot of mixed attachments, and especially with all the things you can now spend CP on before the game begins, because Guard was able to basically, before they nerfed the 1 per battle round, I mean, Guard was basically rolling a 5-up every time a CP was used. And there were games that they had multiple ways to generate CP. So there were games where Guard players literally could not run out of CP. So once the Castellan hit the game, you'd run a Loyal 32 and just farm CP for the Castellan. So that was where a lot of the issues of that model came down to, because they were going to ion shields at every turn. They were going to use the Raven strat every turn. They were going to top bracket every turn. So if you were able to basically give yourself infinite CP, Castellan was a pretty good model when you're facing Index Tau. So that was kind of a lot of the issues. But to go back to what you were saying, I do not think it would be as bad now with the common sense GW facts that they put into place.
It didn't matter anyways. I could have potentially killed 3 brims, but I'm trying to figure out the best way to make sure
Yeah.
I'm running out of shooting
Stuff.
So it looks like that Lord of Skulls down to 4 wounds.
from left field.
Mm-hmm.
But Tomb King running out of guns. All the big knights have shot.
1 hit.
Not
But
sure
he
the
bought a
Morax
bracket.
has shot,
He was able to get a bottom bracket off on one of the Lord of Skulls, which is always nice to see, because he only has 4 CP. So I think he would have liked to kill one. I think that would have been a happy dance situation. But I think you can't go wrong with knocking out 23 wounds off one.
You don't degrade, right?
28.
28, but yeah, it's down to 4. So he knocked down 24 wounds off one model.
Yeah,
that's gonna decrease the damage output.
Just a little bit.
With that being said,
just a little bit.
With that being said, it's still there. Yep. And if you could get it in there and then blow it up, woohoo!
And
see that popcorn popping.
Importantly, they don't degrade on their weapon skill or ballistic skill. So they shoot almost as hard. The strength of their weapons decreases. For most of their weapons, actually, not all of them. But their actual ability to fight doesn't. They in fact gain attacks as they lose brackets.
Lyle, I agree. I'm going to do a Corona elbow bump with you. That it wasn't necessarily the Castellan that was the issue. It was the farm. With that being said, free some love for some Ynnari. I miss Ynnari. They're so bad. It makes me so upset. Make Ynnari good again.
Why not hashtag free the Valiant? Right?
I'll tell you what.
We don't need to see Castellans. We just want to see Castellan kits on the table.
Listen, the Valiant is fine. People don't realize the Valiant with its flamer, delightful. when Eldar flyers were a thing about 6 months ago, let me tell you what, that auto hitting flamer was pretty good against flyers.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I see it occasionally. I am scared of it because I typically play melee armies, and I don't want to charge that thing.
And I think the overall thing, Trevi, is the Castellan is not a bad model. I think it's actually priced to where it needs to be. But the issue with all knights is they are such CP heavy draws that if you aren't able to either start the game with a brigade plus a creed for the additional +2, you basically have to dedicate an army to feeding them CP. That's the issue is do you want to play that in a competitive game? Do you want to have one model or do you want to have 4 knights that could conceivably do as much damage? Yep, Lyle, I agree, but let's real talk this for a second. 3 up in bull save on a Castellan was stupid. 3 up on anything is stupid. Ben, because honestly, you actually get more damage output through the disintegrators. They're 100 points. I mean, I know you have to follow the rule of 3, but for 1 Castellan, you could take 3 disintegrators and 3 of the walker mechs. I mean, real talk. Let's look at the damage output between 6 vehicles and just one Castellan. I mean, obviously, you're going to go for the most damage you can put out of it. AdMech have a ton of good shooting choices.
Yeah, Ben's asking why we don't see AdMech that much. We've seen a little bit of it, but I mean they're okay. But I think the big issue is that they're just sort of a straightforward list, right? There's not a lot of tricks in an AdMech list.
So it's the calm before the storm for AdMech guys. Just remember what's coming out in the Psychic Awakening. AdMech do have a new flyer with I think 3 variants. They have a new jump pack guys coming out with 2 variants, and they have the guys on the dogs for 2 variants. So AdMech are about to get legitimately 7 new models plus Psychic Awakening, plus probably a rebalance in their Psychic Awakening book. So I think once you see that come out, you're going to see a ton of AdMech players because the new kits from GW are just absolutely awesome. It looks like the Leonardo da Vinci original plane. You know what I mean? The wings on it.
Bird wings,
GW did a great job with the new AdMech kits that are coming out, and I think we're all just kind of patiently waiting for rules on them because AdMech could use some love, kind of like everyone else in the Psychic Awakening. So they're in kind of I think they're in kind of a gray area because I have a massive AdMech army that I absolutely love, but they just mono AdMech are just kind of in a weird spot right now when there's just better stuff out there.
4, 5, 6. So 1, 2.
I think you're seeing the Psychic Awakening have and have not armies kind of rising to the top. Who has a Psychic Awakening? Who's got a good one? With Tau or Guard. I mean, Guard got so many good things in their Psychic Awakening book. I mean, a flat 12 Lehman Russ is absurd with a Sun Cannon on it for flat 3 damage. I mean, 12 shots, hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s, strength 8, Neg 3, flat 3 damage shots each turn for what, 2 CP? Yeah, I'll take that, please.
Yeah, that hurts. Just a little bit.
Lord of Skulls making all the saves, like a boss.
Yeah, that's what.
Down to 3 wounds. We have done 7 to the other one. So I think we're hoping that this Rampager can make a charge and finish him off, so to at least get one of these guys. But leaving the other Lord of Skulls maxed on his attacks at bottom bracket is a little painful.
You also want first blood too. You want kill one because I assume your opponent's going to kill something.
Yep.
And him not getting it yet is kind of a weird situation.
Yeah, fortunately, we don't see old school from Tomb King, which is fortunate,
but the kill one, hold one, it is still going to be a point game. You don't want your opponent to kill one and then kill more. You're looking at a 3-point swing. He's splitting his shots. Like I get it, but I mean, you go for the guarantee. I mean, I think he's counting on his Lord Disco being able to smash that unit in close combat.
Yeah, Ben Starkey, Admech, and Necrons are awkward right now. It is weird because they're just sort of they're in a holding pattern, waiting for Pariah and Engine War to come out. Necrons positioned pretty well, I think, to do well in the new ITC packet. They sweep hordes better than almost anything in the game, and they have in some of their lists more maneuverability than almost anything, so they can bounce around the table with Veils of Darkness. And oh wow, look at these saves going on.
Yep, there's a 12. Saves for days.
And the Necrons can bounce around the table with Veils of Darkness and Tomb Blades and Destroyers and things like that. But they just need a little extra oomph to get back in there. They have some issues right now.
Yeah, they're in. Necrons are a great army, but they're in kind of a weird spot. If they don't go, they're in kind of one of those army situations where it's like, oh, if I don't go first, if my opponent has a lot of indirect fire, if I'm facing something that's a hard counter, Necrons can get just absolutely slammed. I think you're going to see with the Psychic Awakening books, you have the haves and the have-nots, and everyone that's had so far, I think, has gotten great stuff except for Eldar. And I will fight anyone at any time. I think Eldar got screwed in the Psychic Awakening. I don't care what anyone thinks.
Okay.
I'm an Eldar player,
all right,
and I look at what everyone else got, and I go, "Oh my God, everyone else got better things."
Whatever you say.
No relics.
Have you read
no
Blood
relics?
Have
no
you read
warlord
Blood
traits
before? Have you looked at that that book?
Book?
They forgot that they put
I've
Tyranids
skimmed
in
it.
that book.
We
didn't even get a new model. We didn't even get a new model. We didn't even get a Phoenix sword.
Oh, Howling Banshees, please.
You got a cool Phoenix sword.
I think are Tyranids. Who do you think has more models, Tyranids, Orcs, or Eldar? Like each individual, unique model. Do you think which one of those, or Space Marines?
That's a stupid question. It's Space Marines.
Are you sure? Eldar have a lot of unique individual models.
I will.
And so
I will bet anyone that Space Marines have almost more models than the rest of the game combined.
I don't know, chat. Is there any Eldar players out there? Can anyone agree with me that Eldar really didn't get anything that made him good in the Psychic Awakening?
There's no Eldar equivalent of Space Marine Lieutenant Amulius, okay?
Oh, but you're talking about individual chapters. I was meaning more generic Space Marines. Actually, no, what? That argument doesn't stand. Yeah, Space Marines have way too much. Good call. I was trying to think. I'm like,
just released 2 new Space Marine models just because they wanted to for a stream the other day. Like,
yeah. Shit. Before Primus, before 8th edition, I think Eldar Orcs had the most unique models.
That might be true.
But yeah, Space Marines are kind of ridiculous right now. I mean, they are getting a new one.
I do think
every month.
I do think Eldar have come out pretty well out of Psychic Awakening.
Disagree.
Okay. Well, one of our factions got Esper Crafters, and the other one got reroll 6s when you stand, or reroll 1s when you stand still. So
that's Tyranids.
Reroll 1 hit roll with a ranged weapon.
Are you still
when
complaining?
You stand still.
Are you?
I'm so mad. About
he got second place in the most. He got second place in the most competitive tournament on TTS right now, where Eldar didn't even have a showing, and he's complaining that Tyranids aren't good. Okay.
Now that's not what I said. Don't put words in my mouth there, Colin. There, I said Tyranid Psychic Awakening was bad, and Eldar's was
still
better.
Got second place.
Yes, I did.
You still got second place. Means a lot. You obviously figured out one way to make Eldar work, or Tyranids work.
Yeah, go first every game. Nailing it.
Yeah, that does kind of help in a lot of lists.
I should place them over here.
So looks like we're not going to see these big punchy combat monsters get into melee. We're going to kill some brimstone horrors.
Not even good odds. I'm gonna charge.
We will on the next turn.
Does the sorcerer not advance? Can he advance and charge? Oh yeah, he's red. He's red. He's red corsairs. What am I thinking? Get out of here.
Red.
Yeah.
That's their
warband trait.
A very Black Templary of them.
I know.
Or White Star. Excuse me.
Pretty cool with the warp time, advancing twice and then charging. It's a long distance. It looks like I imagine we will see a kill here from the Tomb Kings. I wonder if the Lord Discordant can wipe the horrors, and maybe if we're within 4 inches of the Lord of Skulls there from the Rampager. It looks like a long 4 inches, but I don't know if they've measured. Maybe he could get in.
Yeah. So I see him killing 2 things this turn pretty easily, and then it's going to be on the Stallion to be able to kill 3 things. So the question is do you think he's going to be able to kill 3 things to get that kill more on us?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I think it's going to be super easy, barely an inconvenience.
Barely an inconvenience.
If this Lord of Skulls on the top here, this red one in the center doesn't die, it's at, like I said before, it's at bottom bracket, so it's at max melee attacks. So it will be able to...
Max. What's its move at bottom bracket?
That's a great question. They are very close. It's only 4. But
Centurion.
They're probably not more than 8 inches apart, I think. Yeah, he's a Centurion now. But I don't think he's going to have a trouble making that charge.
I think we can all admit that that Lord Disco sitting right in the middle is just looking at that Lord of Skull, starting to stare at him, going, I'm really close to that angry thing right there.
Yeah, this big helmet on the top here, it starts dripping as this guy's salivating over putting his axe all the way through a Lord Discordant next turn.
So what's their movement when they're on full?
10, I believe.
Yep.
10.
Oh, so the one hanging out by the green Lord Disco is probably a couple turns from doing much.
He's shit out of luck, unfortunately. He's having a bad day.
He's moving towards Objective 4.
Yeah, he's asking why Bruce Stallion picked this deployment zone because he wasn't able to fit anywhere else.
Well, you're not able to actually put them in your hammer or your Dawn of War deployment. They're 14 inches. You actually can't put them facing your opponents. Yeah, they go over your.
Oh no!
They actually go over your 12-inch deployment zone,
Yeah.
So they have to wonkily.
I think his other deployment. I think he rolled frontline assault for his other deployment, which might have been worse.
Oh, jeez.
Because it points out to the end, so he doesn't even get that corner deployment.
No, you did.
Oh, so what do you think you're going to see with the Venoms? You think those are going to do a hard right and go right towards that knight? Or do you think they're going to go push towards 3?
I imagine they flank towards 3, and we just start seeing chipping damage on these knights in the back. I don't think the knights can afford to direct fire away from the Lord of Skulls at this stage, and so the Venoms get a couple turns of just free shooting. Remember, they can also run and shoot their weapons, so we can run over the Objective 3 real quick.
Trevi, I'm going to have to ask a weird question and kind of pause everything. Why the hell does that Knight Rampager have 17 wounds remaining on the Knight player's turn?
So he took a couple from...
How did he take 7 wounds?
He took a couple to get his demon benefit things there, the name of which I forget. And then he charged the Lord of Skulls and ate 4 more in Overwatch.
Oh, he did a multi-assault so he can get in there. Because I'm about to say...
Yeah, he was hoping for a big charge right around the edge. But yeah, he's...
like, how in the hell did he bracket his own knight on his turn?
Whoopsies.
That might not be a good army if you're able to bracket your own knight. I'm just going to put it out there.
2 saves.
Yeah, so that's he took that from the Inferno household. Demonic Surge suffered D3 mortals to get to select his I think his +2 movement buff.
Consolidation for him.
Ben Starkey in the chat is saying orcs have way more models than other factions. Than I guess Eldar.
I agree, but Travi kind of proved his point. There have been a redonkulous amount of Space Marine models that are like technically individual models. Like, how many different Primus lieutenants do they have? How many different, special? Even if you look at like special characters, they have 8 chapters that you can technically choose from. Each one has at least 1 to 2. You're looking at just 16 just on that, with just 2 for each. I mean, Eldar, or not Eldar, but Ultramarines have 5 or 6 different individual characters. Blood Angels have 5 to 6. Space Wolves have 5 to 6. Dark Angels have 5 to 6. You know what I mean? Like, there's just too many at that point. You can't compete with Space Marines.
That to be a whole deployment zone. That. These need tubes. Yikes.
12.
You got 9 tubes.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Ethan in the chat, we know that you are sad about that orcs don't get new things, but that's because they're weird and green. But we were mostly talking about Eldar.
They got 2 new models.
Sick Eldar are. They did get 2 new models. So that's good.
Orcs have probably one of the coolest models that has been released so far in the Psychic Awakening.
Yeah, new Gazgul is sick.
Gazgul model is the size of a dreadnought. If you guys haven't seen it in person yet, it is literally the size of a dreadnought. And
ooh, got a big old ping.
And the fact that he can only take 4 wounds a phase. Oh my god, he is so good. He's just slow. The only issue with Gazgul is he's so slow.
Sorry for everybody's experiencing a delay in the chat here. It looks like we had a big ping spike off Tabletop Simulator. Everybody's ping bounced up real high. So it looks like...
as I was trying to find this game, Trevi, there was over, I think, 50 games being played right now.
50?
On Tabletop Sim.
That's not that much.
Yeah, I saw. I had to go down scroll down the list. It was Monday morning.
When we were setting up yesterday afternoon, we had to go through 5,000 games, 5,000 open lobbies to find the correct game.
Well, you definitely got 2 big game on.
TTS is blowing up.
That is absolutely phenomenal. I think the Corona has actually caused them to have to upgrade their servers.
I imagine. Yeah, I bet they're making bank right now. Yeah, the number of people who bought that game immediately as soon as quarantine was initiated is astronomical.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the old one. I'm really sure.
Well, wasn't that what we were talking about yesterday? Like how many players there are? I mean, you think they've maybe sold, let's say 5,000 additional players have hopped on TTS playing 40K. They were running between $10 to $20.
Yep.
For TTS. That's a substantial jump.
Yeah.
This ITC Battles app is real good. Right.
Ethan, are the Lord of Skulls scaled correctly? I believe that they are.
Yes, looks like he killed.
I think these knights may actually be small. Now that I'm looking at them, I have no idea.
Okay, cool. Yeah. All right, cool. So
that's a good point.
Probably don't want to charge with him because he will die on Overwatch.
So Bruce Stallion there was able to stop the Rampager from getting into the Lord of Skulls on the right here by tactically removing those horrors to stop him from being able to consolidate.
So I can't get the objective for that advancing, I think.
Yeah, Ben. Yeah, TTS. It's one of the big downsides. I guess, fortunately and unfortunately, it is not a sort of reflex-based game, so it doesn't require really small pings. But unfortunately, on the flip side, that also means, yeah, this happens. Okay. Go ahead and jump back in. I'm gonna pop you guys back over to the loop here. While I fix this. Apologies for the Apologies for the delay, everybody. Just trying to reconnect to the game so we can jump back in. Yeah, timing on the disconnect was real strong. We did it on purpose.
Alright, now it's dropped.
Okay, we're back in.
Now lock.
Yeah. No, he's good. He's rocking.
Okay, I'm gonna lock him for you because he's gonna jump.
Thank you. Remind me that you've done that, don't you?
Yeah.
I don't know if this Lord of Skulls is overlapping where this back tree was.
Okay, just not move that far. Okay, I was like, you're loading away.
Yeah, it's alright.
You're good.
Just getting into the habit.
Guys, just to note, we do have the trees in the forest there. You can move over them, but you can't end your movement on top of them. So I think the Lord of Skulls might have to back out a little bit.
Okie dokie. Damn it! Oh, you lost him, didn't you?
Got him.
Yeah, I hear you.
That's a rule that we use for the T5S2 event because these trees are potentially line of sight blocking, so we don't want people to remove them. There are trees on the corners that we allow them to remove because they're functionally useless and just confusing. But the trees in the forest we keep around. So that created the issue that this Lord of Skulls couldn't end his movement on top of the tree, and he had to bump back a little bit. So he's having a lot of trouble getting out of this ruin here, unfortunately. Big downside of the Lord of Skulls list is that you have all these huge models you have to maneuver around the table. I'm thinking that Ethan from the chat here should probably play this list because he loves playing models that don't interact favorably with ruins at all. So I think we'd love to see him rock the triple skull boys. Ben Starkey likes looking at the cute turtle. Yeah, he's a cutie boy. The little tactical tortoise over there with his missile launcher. He's ready to go.
Try and get 16 from both of them, which is easier said than done.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna get both, to be honest with you. You just don't have them.
Ben, I'm telling you that the Lord of Skulls absolutely can crush the tree, but the tree springs back immediately as soon as he stops moving.
There you go.
And bounces him away. On the BCB ITC Ruins map, there's a force of vibrant growth that causes the trees to, sort of violently explode out of the ground and throw enemies off of them. That's my headcanon anyway. That's what we're going with. Colin, welcome back.
Oh, hey, there we go. I don't know what the hell was going on.
Yeah, Steam kicked me for a bit.
Oh!
I had a big old ping spike on TTS, and it knocked me out, but we're back.
We're going to need some players to stop playing today.
Yeah.
Guys are killing us.
Calm down with your game, with your games, everyone.
We're all suffering right now.
So we had a bit of an interesting interaction and an unfavorable one for Bruce Stallion. He tried to move his Lord of Skulls out of the ruin here, and there's meant to be two trees in this forest, and he deleted one. But the rules pack says that if you can't move entirely over the tree, you can't end your movement on top of it. So he actually had to bounce off the back. I think he's got to just go for an advance or just become a turret, I guess. I'm not sure exactly.
Oh my god!
It's gonna be tough for him to get out of there.
Oh jeez! Come on, TTS.
Come on, Lord of Skulls. I mean, really?
Yeah.
That's the.
Just let him do it, Tomb Stallion. Come on, just let him do it.
No, that was me.
the intention.
Tomb King is 100% in, but they were breaking the rules, and that's why I'm here is to reinforce the rules with an iron fist.
You are a harsh but not generous god at this point. God. You're not even giving Leonidas a chance to surrender. You're just going right on in.
Yeah. Fight in the shade with this. cavalcade of rules infractions here, bud.
You give a man a little bit of power, he is going to take it. Luckily, guys, there's no sportsmanship award, so Trevi's okay.
Yep. Fortunately, I'm not even in this pod, so I can't even. Can't even compete for the sportsmanship award that I won't get.
I mean, I know.
Also, I would
be really bad after the Second
be,
Awakening, so
I would be awarding the sportsmanship award, so I would get it every time.
Which I think is the overall concept of how the sportsmanship award is given out. Oh, is it not for me? I'm sorry. I was under the impression it's for me.
Yeah, Ethan, it's one of the trees from Grand Theft Auto. They're just immovable, immortal objects to destroy tanks. Yeah, you just got to drive around them. Just drive around.
I don't know. I think I'm going to harp it every chance we get. Who remembers the days of 6th edition where that Land Raider would immobilize itself on the first piece of terrain it would touch?
Brutal, man.
Oh,
you just had to spend the 5 points on stupid dozer blades to reroll that one. So you didn't lose the game because your Predator would kill itself.
Immobilize himself.
Yeah, but if all his weapons were dead, he just died.
I actually liked 6th edition up until GW kind of decided selling models was a better concept than making balanced rules. So, I mean, I really did like. I thought they did a lot of great things with 6th. I like the idea that flamers couldn't hit flyers because I think that kind of makes sense on the grand concept of the game. There was some good common sense things in the hobby. I enjoyed blast templates. I thought they added a little bit of that variety to the game. But no, GW, like I said, decided making money on detachments was a far superior way to do it. Then you started seeing Grey Knight armies with Tau Riptides, and then it kind of got wonky.
Al Dixon has declared that was a magic tree from Age of Sigmar. Tomb King might have brought that in as part of his list. That's his special terrain piece.
Got it.
God damn it, cow!
What do they call it? Hazardous terrain? Is that what GW calls it? Or random terrain pieces?
Yeah, something like that.
Actually, let's just go into the kill. So this guy is going to shoot. That's really irritating.
I needed him to live. Because I can still do rerolls.
So Tomb King here, rolling the saves to keep this War Dog Moirax alive on 1 wound from the shooting.
Okay. But he'll be hitting on 5.
Yes, but I can still do the TCP to reroll.
Yeah, you can. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm going to shoot him with the Echo Cannon.
So what shot at the War Dog?
Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to shoot this guy over here.
I think one of the two.
Okay.
Lord of Skulls in the center did.
I'm going to go and use the +1 rotate Iron Shield. Would be no reason not to.
Good idea.
And then the guy in the back here firing into the Gatling Cannon Knight with an Ion Shields in response to improve the invulnerable save.
Oh, and I've got 3 success. Cool, so that's 3 extra hits. Get in there, you fucking thing.
Okay, there you go.
Okay. So now it's 4s rolling once, and 6s get extra hits. Okay.
Wow.
Roll once. Not extra hits, extra shots.
Ouch.
Yeah, so whoever designed these rules didn't think about this. So I've got
Whoever
4.
designed these dice boxes.
Yeah. Right. Let me just move these brims out of the way. So I've got 4
Ethan?
shots.
Oh, I agree. I think it was. I think you're right. GW kind of added more models that they wanted to sell, and I think that's kind of where it got wonky.
There you go. I helped.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you. That is helpful. Right, so 2s rolling once. Okay, so then that's 5 hits.
The fact that these guys explode so much.
Yeah.
4 shots usually be like 20.
This will get hit. Reroll once, and it doesn't go around again. Don't worry. That would be
Yeah,
silly.
just 12 shots.
12
13.
shots, 13 wins.
I'll just roll those.
Oh well.
And that's the story of my life right there. That is.
Yikes! That was a monumentally terrible saving roll from Tomb King.
I have 8 left. Or 6 left.
How much damage did we do there?
16 wounds to the Avenger Gatling Cannon Knights.
Yeah.
Knight.
Oh, I just saw him adjust the wounds on the knight. Yeah, that's
Yikes!
yeah,
Big
that's
oof.
not great.
Big oof for that guy. F in the chat for Avenger Gatling Cannon boy over here.
I mean, in his defense, he is only facing two Lord of Skulls.
Yeah.
One's always becomes 60.
Yeah, that was a one.
Yeah.
Yoink. Okay.
Your 2 saves.
So, hang on. I've got more shenanigans. So, one more shot. Which is 2 hits.
And he's got, I think his gun platform, does have line of sight directly on that knight. I think he's going to be able to get it.
I think that's the one that did 16. Or
Okay, that's 4 wins.
that big hit to him.
I hate the dice boxes on this. I swear they go weird. Alright. And I need 4 ropes. 2d3.
Ooh!
8 left.
2 goes through for D3 damage each.
You got 6. That's
He's got
max.
6.
2 threes will kill him. Ready?
Oh,
Left
5 points.
leaves him on 1.
Okay, let's see the popcorn. Let's see the popcorn.
Yeah. That would be so. This Moirax is also alive on 1 wound, so an exploding knight would kill that as well.
So that's
Or
And-
the exploding
and potentially
Wardog will
engineers.
blow up and kill the knight.
Oh yeah, we could, or they both explode. That's
Yes,
what we
fair
want.
enough.
So let me see. So I'm going to put the blah. I'm going to split this. They've both got 1 wound, right?
Yep.
Let's see what he Venom crawlers, have they shot yet?
Just to note too, everybody. So we're seeing exploding 6s to hit from the Lord of Skulls here. That's from the Master of Possession.
I'm going to take
He's got the special warlord trait called Demon Smith. So that's how these guys are doing so much damage with these big multi-shot guns. Is that they're exploding 6s to shoot.
Have the Venom shot yet?
No, you go pretty hot.
I don't believe that they have.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing
So he
that's
kept
they line of sight too.
So he kept the Lord of Skulls in close combat with the knight.
It was not in close combat. I think they're just outside of an inch. Is the intention?
Okay.
Because the knight couldn't have consolidated because it was based with
The other guys.
the brimstones.
That's more than enough, though.
And this knight has moved off the table edge. The Lord of Skulls, excuse me, has moved off the table edge just to make that unfailable charge.
Ooh, he's still kicking. That's huge. That is huge.
Oh well, fuck it, hit him 5s. I know you can reroll everything, but still. Alright.
Yeah.
This is when I failed to kill this guy.
6 shots. Probably not.
Okay, fine.
Getting shots.
That'll do. That'll do. We'll speak it here in a sec. Use it on 2s. No jump 4s.
Oh, if I don't kill either of them, I might have a little.
Hey, you hit it 2. You hit it 2. You hit it 2.
Oh,
Well,
might have a little bloody
one
fail.
save.
Just one. Oh no.
I think that's an Ichor cannon firing here. The big flamers that the Lords of Skull have.
That would be sweet. 'Cause you used CP, haven't you?
Oh.
It's just an 8-inch, or is it a
18.
longer inch one?
18 inches.
That
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
18
there goes the
inches
War Dog.
for strength 7. Yeah, I think he was just in range of that forward Lord of Skulls.
That's a shooting.
Sad to see the War Dog did not blow up. Womp
I
womp.
don't think it is. Nope.
Oh, excuse me, that's a Gore Storm cannon. That's my bad.
So,
works, yes.
absolutely. He's going to charge your Night Rampager.
I love how like GW creates names for weapons. They're like noun,
Right.
expletive, cannon.
No, my apologies. It's actually not anything that they have. I have no idea what that shot was.
Alright.
Fair enough.
I don't know what is wounding on 2s over here.
Yeah, to make it messy.
Yeah, I have to kill this guy, otherwise it's game over. Now,
here he comes.
That's how you do a move.
We're fighting.
Okay, what do you think? You think that knight's gonna be able to survive this?
Let's see. Well, let's take a CP count here. 8 CP remaining for Tomb King. We see the power of that Red Corsairs battalion bringing 8 CP in for themselves. So he's got an interrupt available. So he's gonna fight with one of these things, I imagine.
So do you fight with the Lord Disco first, or do you fight with the Corn Lord?
You fight with the Lord of Skulls. Oh, it looks like we forgot the Venom Crawlers, so they're going to shoot now. So I would fight with the Lord of Skulls on the Rampager and try to kill him. That gives you 2 attacks from the Discordant onto the other Lord of Skulls, but I think that is you can eat that. Otherwise, if this Rampager kills this Lord of Skulls, it's such a huge swing. Whereas if you randomly lose this guy on 4 wounds, it's not that big of a deal. Plus, he could like randomly explode in the middle of all these guys and kill the sorcerer or something.
Yeah, I mean he's gonna. I think that knight's gonna go down. Only has 17 wounds left. He's gonna lose basically. He's got 1 knight left of 3. I know he can spend 3 CP and keep a knight alive if he makes the save, which I think he's kind of counting on that knight to die. Hopefully not blow up, and then CP revive it, and then his turn he gets it top bracket, shoots, charges, kills, blows up again. Hopefully he can do a lot of damage.
-2, I failed to.
Because they have the House Tyrannus strat where they can just come back to life.
So
Pretty good.
at least I feel a little better. I don't want to try to fucking pull.
Yeah, that is Pact with the Dark Gods is that one.
In real life, I could slot all these Lord of Skulls together in a really nice castle. Can't do that.
Yes.
Right, so I had to guarantee the skeleton. It's not my last guarantee for this. This guy's not degraded, so he's going to get his 4 attacks +1 for hateful assault.
Looks like we actually just failed on the Lord Discordant actually.
Yeah, that would have been big.
So that makes that choice pretty easy.
I need it to go well.
Yep, fair enough.
We're rolling. No, don't fail, because then we're fucked.
Looks like he's going for the super smash.
Commentary from the players is pretty great here. Bruce Stallion telling his Lord of Skulls not to fail because otherwise he's fucked.
Yep. Does he explode?
He just got 4 wounds.
Yep, that kills it.
He does not.
6 damage each.
Right,
that would kill that knight at full.
to get back up. 3 CP.
Oh, jeez.
But he's dead for now.
Oh no. I think
Yep,
he rolled for the explosion, I believe. It didn't explode.
Oh, he's flying. Light as a feather. Light as a feather.
Yeah, I wonder if it's a bizarre hitbox on these Lord of the Skulls that's really screwing them up.
Yeah, I got you. Okay.
Intention here is that they're playing players being very sportsmanlike, playing by intention, trying to ensure that he can engage that sorcerer.
He missed with all 3 attacks. They were great, wonderful. Unless he gets -1 for getting charged. All right. On a 4 up, my Night Rampager.
So here we go, rolling for the Rampager to
So let's
enact its pact with the Dark Gods.
See what happens. And
It goes off. Oh man.
Thank God you can't act on full profile, though.
No, it doesn't. And
it only comes back with D3 wounds.
you Overwatch while in combat. As a knight.
But
And that's going to be prime, because you're just going to spend a CP at top bracket for your turn.
I don't believe that they have a top bracket in
I'm
the
talking about if I want to keep my sorcerer locked with
in the Chaos Knight Codex.
for the Overwatch.
They don't?
I don't think that they do.
Let's have a look.
Chaos, come on now.
That's a Mechanicus thing.
Lord of Skulls, blah blah. Can shoot if there are enemy models within 1 inch of it, as long as all of the enemy models have the infantry keyword. So yes, I would.
Okay, so I'd take these coordinates in first. All right, so D3 wounds, by the way.
Yeah, so
We'll have to.
a little dicey for the knight here. If he charges back into that Lord of Skulls, non-zero chance that he gets killed in Overwatch. That said, he can try to eat that Overwatch with the Discordant to engage him with a vehicle. But
so the knight took I think what you said 5 on Overwatch, 5 wounds on the Overwatch.
It was 2 from his demonic household buff, and then 5 more from Overwatch. Yeah. So I imagine we see the Lord of Skulls on 4 get killed by the Avenger Gatling Cannon guy this turn. And then we see that Discordant charge in to tie up this Lord of Skulls, and then hopefully the Rampager kills it.
I mean, you're also going to have the issue of the Knight Despoiler with the double Gatling. I mean, it is 1 wound remaining, and if there are no ways to get up to top bracket, I mean, you're hitting on 5s. That's just a lot less shots.
It's 4. It would be 4, is that right, for a Rampager?
Bottom bracket. Usually it's -1.
4 up weapon skill on bottom bracket for the Rampager. It starts in a 2.
Oh, that's so good. Oh.
So he'll be okay, I think. Between that guy and the Lord Discordant, I think he's going to be able to do the damage.
Yeah.
Bruce Stallion, I don't believe has any CP left.
Nope.
So that's gonna no interrupt available. So I think it just loses that Lord of Skulls to those 2 units.
So Tomb King didn't calculate his big game hunter.
Originally, I thought he was at.
Oh no, it was at 20. Yeah, I went up.
Probably calculated for him.
Yeah, he's got 2 on big game hunter, 3 on big game hunter right now.
Okay.
Because Bruce definitely got 4 points for big game hunter on his turn.
Yep.
We're looking at 8 to 2.
Battle Cannon.
Bruce got Killmore, and they both hold.
Takes 3 wounds because owie.
Dings himself for 3 to pick his Demonic Pact ability this turn on the Battle Cannon Knight.
Right.
It's so good, but you really do cause a lot of self-harm. I mean, obviously, he just dealt 3 to himself. And, as the game progresses, you really do a lot of damage to your own knights.
Lyle Dixon, I don't think Chaos Knights have any top bracket strats, so he's just going to be fighting as normal.
I can't lose that
Yeah, that's on me, Lyle. I apologize.
He can still... can he Trail of Destruction to reroll his hits, though? Is that a melee thing, or just shooting? I have no idea.
People can see this when I switch my...
Yep, so he could spend those 2 CP to reroll all of his hit rolls with that guy, so that bottom bracket's not going to be as big of a deal.
So his Rampager did come up with 2 wounds.
All you need. That's all you need.
Yep.
Don't get too greedy.
That just means a bolter. That just means a bolter is not going to kill you on the charge in.
Yeah. 2 bolters, though. Look out.
3 up?
Yep, now 92.
Yes.
Yeah, 3 up.
These Venom Crawlers, I think, going to be a pretty big issue for Tomb King. The Lord of Skulls aren't... they're losing the fight right now, but... they're going to... they're going to be able to nickel and dime these knights down to the point that all of these big guns from the Venom Crawlers are going to be able to take them out.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it now, and no knights died, no Lord of Skulls died. We're going up on turn 2. A lot of damage on each side. Bruce the Stallion, him obviously having a Lord of Skulls stuck in the corner of the board is not optimal for him. But the fact that he does have those 3 Venoms hitting the flank and back, that's going to be huge because they're going to shoot and charge. They're just going to keep moving, and he's going to have to keep firing at these Lord of Skulls.
Yeah, he's already, he's down below 1 full night worth of hit points on these 3 nights already. And it's not going to take too much.
Easily.
It's not. Yeah, he's at 23 or 22 wounds on 3 nights total.
He took 6.
He's gonna
39.
and those strength 8 or strength 9 guns are gonna be able to tune him up pretty quickly, just to finish off the last guy. Looks like this Avenger Gatling Cannon Knight might actually be able to hide from that last Lord of Skulls. We might have to see. we might have to see that Lord of Skulls advance actually to get through that forest, which would be a little problematic because it loses all its shooting.
He did 50 wounds to those knights on turn 1.
5-0. 5-0
50
wounds to
wounds.
Ooh.
And he return only took 24, 30. So yeah, that's a substantial change there when you do over 50.
Yeah, and it's I mean that shows you the power of these models in melee, right? Because one of them got to melee, the other one didn't, and he did 24 damage as soon as he got in, right? Like
yeah, huge.
He's getting work done.
Yeah. Power of a screen. That's kind of what it comes down to.
Okay. These guys right here are going to advance. The 5 guys with bolt guns here.
Yeah.
I've got a 3 plus 6 is 9. Oh, come on.
Oh, did you hear your disco one of his wounds?
Lyle Dixon, did Pod 1 finish semifinals yet? No, we still have one more semifinals round, one more semifinals match, which is scheduled for this Friday. That's going to be a good one. That's Tsung Su playing Salamander's kind of mid-range list with a bunch of big guns and a bunch of flamey Invictors versus Grizzly Nate Dogg playing Death Guard, complete with Mortarion and a Possessed Bomb. A bunch of super aggro chaos dudes. It's going to be sick.
That game makes me so happy. That's going to be an absolutely brutal close combat game.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm not confident that Tsung has the firepower to push through the Possessed and Mortarion, but we'll see.
Oh, just remember, every time you play Death Guard, you're facing your opponent's army and then their ability to roll 5-ups. So we have a couple players in our area that just for some reason constantly roll 5-up Feel No Pains, and it really keeps that army in a top tier bracket. It's like if you can roll good, that's a brutal army to play. Because you got to think everything in that list has a 5-up Feel No Pain.
In that combat.
Mm-hmm.
There's literally no reason. Because I have
what do you think? I think Death Guard. I mean, obviously at the initial start of 8th, they were really good, but I think they are just still. GW gave them a bunch of good love for what they used to be in comparison to what they are. I think that might be the biggest star child of 8th edition. I always thought with Death Guard, with the amount of models they got and the amount of just rules that that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, they're just so consistently.
Is an absolute animal.
They show up so consistently, right? Like. We see Blade Haulers occasionally. We see Plague Burst Crawlers all the frickin' time. We see Mortarion all the time. The Nurgle combos between the standard Nurgle Demons and Death Guard, exist and are good. It's just such a solid sub-faction.
It really is. I think probably one of the best of what Chaos Marines got in regards to 8th edition.
Lyle Dixon's wife is listening in. Also a Death Guard player. She said that list sounds sexy.
Is it the words that sound sexy, or is it my voice that sounds sexy? Because either way, please don't make it any more violent than it has to be. Got to make sure you got to say that.
Yeah, that makes that pretty much an easy decision here. All right, Discordant's going to go try to do.
Actually, kind of a weird story. I actually dated a girl once who had 3 birthmarks that kind of looked like a mark of Nurgle. Super weird and uncomfortable.
Interesting. We have the Lord Discordant leaving the fight. Going after the other Lord Discordant, maybe?
Yep. You really don't need him in that fight against the Knight. I think he knows that. I think if he's going to be able to hit that other Lord, knock him out, that's going to be tough.
I'm so worried about that Knight, the Lord of Skulls killing the Rampager on Overwatch, though. I would be terrified of that.
That gives you something to kill with your big guy.
Yeah, but I think he understands that he's not gonna have to worry about that other Lord of Skulls coming out of that terrain. All he's got to worry with is if he can kill that one Knight, blow up the other one from that's on 4 wounds. That's a big switch.
So clearly, Tomb King actually listening to us and has decided not to do that.
Step in and squash it. Step in and squash it.
And it should be almost an auto charge.
Lyle Dixon in chat says Cullen's voice is gross and certainly not sexy.
Fair enough. Aw. I don't see that anywhere. It was all thought. It was all thought. We all got it. It's okay.
Still take this without getting too close. But you can move up. You said it there. So I'd have to go back to here. I can still see everything I want to see. Yeah, I think that's smart.
Trevi, what do you think's gonna happen this battle? Oh, he's pulling the knight back.
Oh,
Yeah, that's the battle cannon knight. That's the guy. That's the guy who's going to deal damage at range. He needs that guy to hang out.
Yep. He's just trying to get out of range of the one Lord of Skulls that is not going to see any action in this game.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's assuming he's going to finish those 4 wounds off in the center one.
Okay.
He is assuming he's going to kill this one at the top. I think he might have to dedicate some shooting to make sure that happens.
He's keeping an arc open to the one with 4 wounds, as you can see from through Objective 5, and he's keeping the other gun available to go into that Venom Crawler. So I think he's giving himself some options. It's going to be interesting. That's a pretty good spot. I don't know. I'll probably move more towards Objective 3.
Yeah, he's still
It's still an objective-based game. He's going to want to try to get as much as he can. Hopefully try to get the bonus, which I think he could.
Engage with, obviously.
Yep.
Ooh, it fails. Do I want to CP that? Because I can't afford 5 up to.
Failed a death hex, I imagine.
Yeah, because it's a normally. It's normally on an 8, so I need a 5 or better. That's not.
Yeah, we just flubbed a death hex on this knight, or on this Lord of Skulls.
I'm okay with not doing that. That's fine. That's unfortunate, but nature of the beast. Smite.
You just gotta cross your fingers, hope he doesn't roll 5 ups. Easy.
Goes off on a 7.
Easy peasy.
So do 3. It's just 2.
Oh, just 2, did you say?
Yep, just 2. Alright. Shooting your discordant. That is only about 36 shots. Ow!
Full.
One save.
Okay, so this will be it's -2, isn't it? So this will be on my invuln. That's it.
You know what? I can see the discord for this guy.
Might actually put this Avenger Gatling Cannon Knight into the Lord Discordant.
Did you do your job right? The donations.
Oh,
The
yeah,
Lord
no,
Discordant?
yeah,
Yeah, they have the wounds to be targeted.
For the,
He's saving his Lord Disco to charge into the Lord Skulls with 4 wound then.
Well, he's got one gun. He's split fire. He's got one gun into the Lord of Skulls, it looks like, and one into the Lord of Discordant, I think.
One advancing charge and maybe. No,
he's good. Well, that was a bunch of stuff.
Okay. Alright, so he's going to shoot one weapon here, and he's on 5, so I want to shoot Discordant. Discordant's still sitting on 2 up, isn't he? Or is he not?
It depends if I'm 50% obscured.
So weird. Shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like just a sliver of line of sight on that Discordant from the knight in the center.
So that would be
Unfortunate for Bruce Stallion here.
So 2d6 shots there. Oh, not 2d6.
Wonder what he's doing with this. What Tomb King's doing with the Space Marine sitting there on his back objective.
Those are engineers?
No, I think he turned the engineers pink. He's got an engineer on 5 and an engineer on 2. So he'll get double points. But
you mean
the ones that are on objective?
The unit off on the bottom corner?
Yeah.
They have an auto cannon, so they're just shooting.
I think he probably is doing pop shots into the Lord of Skulls.
Yep. That's what they did last turn. If they pop out, they're an easy kill.
Yeah.
And I think that might he's trying to limit as much shooting from this right or leftmost Lord of Skulls here that they might just get picked up next turn.
Yeah.
We'll see if Bruce Stallion needs to put any shots into these the Lord Discordant or the Knight in the center. I think these Venom Crawlers might run riot over here though.
going to die
Yep.
now.
I think he's going to hold 3 at the end of this turn. Let's see. He's able to kill that Lord of Skull 4 wounds. He'll definitely be able to get 2 on Engineer, and he'll get probably bonus, and he'll get hold 4.
Yep.
Unless the Green Lord goes. Oh,
there he goes.
1.
There you go.
Hey, I'm just happy. Oh, sorry, his Top Gun. I was shooting with the Venom Crawler. I didn't clear it, but it wasn't going to shoot.
Yeah, go for it. You enjoy yourself.
D6 shots. It hits on fire.
Well, I'm excited to see these Venom Crawlers really come into their own next turn, though.
I agree.
We're going to be... It is unfortunate that the Bloodmaster didn't deploy with them. Because getting those... and the Lord Discordant as well. Because getting those +1 to hits, I think, would have been really clutch. Although, he's buffing up the Lord of Skulls. That's probably a little bit more important.
Oh, I don't know yet.
Yeah, he did throw all of his characters over on the one side.
Yep. Still plenty of CP to rotate Ion Shields for Tomb King, unfortunately, so maybe they're not going to do so much damage, but that's a lot of battle cannon shots over there. That's fortunately for Tomb King.
Do you go for the untouched Lord of Skulls, or do you try to deal with the Venoms? I mean, I feel like you try to go for start knocking these Venoms out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you
I think
go.
he's deciding to.
Actually, probably listening to us. I think they probably are listening to us.
The closest one, boosted battle cannon.
Yeah.
Next closest one, non-boosted battle cannon.
Yeah, I mean,
non-boosted battle cannon.
we'll see how much stuff these Lord of Skulls lose. I think I would have liked to see an advance from that leftmost one to get him out of that ruin the last turn, and just sacrifice the shooting. Oh, he did do so much damage to this Adventure Gatling Cannon Knight. I don't know if there's a perfect option there. You just needed to.
He only did.
You just needed to roll better deployments.
He only did 23 damage.
Yeah, that's it. Only 23. Easy. Well, it did 2 to itself already, I think. So he's
yeah.
He only did 21.
No, he did 50 wounds to the Knights.
Yeah, I'll
That's insane.
All right.
Oh, jeez.
Reroll.
That's a lot of hits.
Oh man, yeah, that's the battle cannons going off.
No reroll.
Tomb King's rolls on the battle cannons have been insane this game. So many shots.
Giving him strength 9 is so good.
Yeah.
That's about average, actually.
Yeah, it gets him past that the strength 8 threshold there.
Yep. Oh, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 damage.
Exacties. Oh, that's brutal, man.
Does he blow?
Yes, it is. Oh, thank Christ.
Yikes. Well, maybe we don't see these Venom Crawlers rip up the table too bad.
No. Generally, a battle cannon is going to... Oh, this is only 5 shots. This is a little bit less. He's contemplating a CP to reroll that too. He's doing it. Nope. Maybe.
There we go.
There you go.
Into a 6.
Into
Ooh.
9. Nothing like rolling 5 into a 9.
Wow. This battle cannon's really tuning stuff up.
Gotta respect that. Every time I try to do that, that 1 turns into a 1. So I'm very happy to see it work for someone at least.
Yeah, I was like counting them. All right, this is going to be 3s.
Yep.
Reroll the hit.
Reroll wounds.
There we go.
Or reroll hit, excuse me.
3s.
Yep.
Okay, 2 are
another 6.
I think they're all 5 ups regardless.
Yeah. Okay.
8, 3.
3d3.
1, 2, 3, 4.
All right.
Survives.
Well, significantly less exciting damage than the last one. That's got to be painful, though.
He's killed 1, 2 so far.
Not great. Strength is 5, so just 1.
Okay. And then...
1 save. No 1 save.
Yeah, he's good.
All right. This does shoot, short. These guys can't really shoot shit. He already shot. D6 shots going to the one that died. I think I'm done shooting.
Okay.
Oh, this guy can shoot. This guy will just shoot Dak at.
Cool.
Needs fight.
We got one last gunshot coming out of this Night Rampager, and then we're going to move over to the charge phase, it looks like. And,
there we go. That's what I was waiting on.
Cross our fingers that this guy doesn't get
survives
obliterated.
Overwatch.
Yeah. I guess the Discordant's going to go in now that he's moved him back here.
Yeah.
Discordant's going to go in first. Soak that Overwatch, engage him with a vehicle so he can't shoot, and then.
All right, charging the Discord.
Yep. Here he
I'm
goes.
actually kind of surprised he actually didn't put the sorcerer directly behind that wall. Charge in the sorcerer first, and ignoring line of sight, and ignoring Overwatch.
The sorcerer doesn't stop them from shooting.
No, if he charges from where objective 1 is, behind the wall, in the line of sight. Charge in, ignore Overwatch.
The sorcerer doesn't stop the Lord of Skulls from shooting, if he's engaging him.
Okay, so that's 3 at -2.
Because they have a special rule that says that they can still make range attacks as long as they're only engaged by infantry.
Oh, there you go. Okay, then fair enough.
One goes through.
Yeah,
Look at me trying to be skill level 10 on that.
yeah. So you have to send the Lord of Discord in and eat that.
Icor cannon.
And already done 2 damage with the Overwatch. So glad that Rampager didn't go in because he would have died. Oh, yikes! Yep. That's a scary thing right there. That's scary.
So who do you swing with first, the knight or the lord?
Trying to give it the 1 inch.
It doesn't matter, right?
He
There's
can't interrupt. He has no
so just go for it.
CPU.
Get her done.
Yep, just go ham. Got 19 wounds left. I kind of want to see the Lord Discord go first. See how much damage it can do.
8 inches.
Yeah, Ben, the other Lord of Skulls hasn't moved yet. Yeah, Bruce Stallion decided to keep it there after this tree thing.
This guy is getting range. I don't think I can.
After a tough ruling by our local TO.
Yeah, I mean, it appears that it can clearly just move to in front of where the tree is, and then the next turn move over the tree.
But he'd have to advance it, though.
Well, he did have to advance it to clear the tree. But I think if it just moves in a straight line along the table edge, right, it doesn't clip that wall, I don't believe.
I have 5 attack space.
And it moves up to the tree. It can't move over the tree because it doesn't have enough movement. And then the subsequent turn, it can move over onto the turn.
So the entire model has to stay on the board, right? The arms can't hang over.
Yes.
So then I don't think he's going to be able to because that arm hangs over by another inch, half an inch.
Yes, but it also does the Discordant help me, even if I'm.
No.
It's only demon.
Yeah, that's a rule that maybe gets removed in the next version of our tournament packet. It's annoying and difficult to
modeling to your advantage.
Right here it says
Yeah, exactly. So and then 6 is get extra.
You have to bring Microsoft Paint into the game and you start cutting models up to make sure you can get all your lore to it.
Oh no.
Strength impossible. Reroll the wounds. Actually, the 2.
Also lets people play Marauder Bombers.
Fair enough.
So 5 ups.
It's a strange rule because it functionally doesn't even make sense the way the rules exist. Because you ignore the model when you measure distances. So why do you suddenly care about the model when you measure the size of the board? It's bizarre. I don't. That's okay. We can talk about that another day.
I'm gonna go and roll
it's hard because you want to try to keep the rules as fair as you can, but we are still playing on a simulator that was made for poker.
Right. Yeah.
So it's you kind of have to deal with
strongly
it.
imperfect. Yeah.
Charge. They all hit.
But it's still free, and you can never argue free.
Oh man,
that's a lot of damage. Holy shit.
Looks like all the Lord Discordants.
Yep.
Yeah, all the Lord Discordant swings ran through. Wow. One saved. Just
there we go.
All right.
There he goes.
Who needs Night Rampagers, man?
Sorry, consulting for him. Oh wait, no, I don't.
I'll be back.
Wow. Okay, there you go. Yep, you got it. Well, looking pretty bad for the Lord of Skulls here, chat. What are you guys thinking?
Okay.
I want to keep your charge to a 9. I don't think you're gonna charge me, but nonetheless.
Yeah, Lyle, if you want to think about it another way, I mean, fortunately, you can kind of,
Oh, that's good for me.
ideally, you visualize things however you want, but you know, the forests are meant to be thicker and more tangled. And this guy does have a big dozer blade, but he's not going to be able to go at full speed through, you know, all these trees and stuff. So he's going to be slowed down regardless, you know, is kind of the intent. Competitively, though, we want to keep all of the terrain that's meaningful on the board intact because it does affect line of sight.
So this is actually using a different wall set for the center terrain pieces. Was this done prior, or did you do this?
No, this is the set that is defined in the packet.
No, but I mean by the actual one that is generally used has like double walls on objective 5 by accident, so you have to like delete one. This looks a lot cleaner.
Yeah, this is an earlier version, and this is the one that we specify to use in the packet.
Perfect. So smart.
These big walls are so much easier to use. Although the latest version, I think we might move to the latest version of the BCB because they made the walls kind of immaterial, so you can actually just move models straight through them. It's a little awkward because sometimes you overlap them by accident, but I think the ease of play is a lot better. It was really awkward with the big weird facades in the middle that you had to kind of maneuver around on the other version.
So what do you think? What do you think of this game right now? That was a lot of damage.
That's a lot of damage, but there's only 22 wounds of night left on the table.
That's true.
I can't imagine that we don't see the two knights in the center and the disco picked up this turn.
Go to my chaos stats.
How's he killing the knight on objective 5?
Got the venom crawlers. It has one wound left.
Alright,
Just gotta get one battle cannon hit them. It looks like the one closer to the red player's table edge certainly does. The other one looks like has not moved so that it will get line of sight, but maybe he's hoping one will do it.
Yeah.
Plus he has this Lord Discordant running around over here. I don't know what that guy's gonna do.
This is about to be. We are about to see an objective-based night game. This is going to go to turn 6, just because all the knights are going to blow up and the Lord of Skulls can't move.
Yep. Lyle, I've seen the Pro Tabletop map, but I haven't loaded it in yet, so I haven't played it with it yet. I did play with the a couple games with the LVO terrain, and that was a mild disaster.
Really?
Yeah, the big ruins with the multi-level ruins that they have are really difficult to measure around. I was trying to get wraps on a Gene Stealer. It's in my final game from the QCT that's up on the channel. There's probably a good 45 minutes of me trying to measure Gene Stealer movements like through this multi-level terrain thing. It's horrific.
I cannot wait to put you on a stop clock in our first game. I've heard nothing but horror stories. I think I have to.
Yeah, I'm in 18.
Yeah, well, it being set up for the Pro Tabletop rules, I don't think is an issue. They basically use a slightly modified ITC, and I actually really like their rule set.
Did you see they started adding more elements into the map creator for Warhammer 40K? Like they have the automated dice roller now, or the automated dice.
In the new BCB map.
You have to stop right here. See how it is over here, at the edge of the green, and then the next turn you move past it.
So they're trying to maneuver this Lord of Skulls. I have to imagine that it lips this big wheel around the ruin. Ah, this is so obnoxious.
I didn't know either. Yeah,
what an annoying model to move.
You could delete that ruin wall right there and just draw a line and see where you can get it at.
Yeah, it's weird because it overlaps the area of the ruin terrain slightly. So it's hard to kind of guesstimate where it is. Maybe you draw a line now and then you remove it. Yeah, Ethan, the LVO tables are hostile to any actual gameplay other than a Marine gun line. Yeah, it's not great. It has sort of the one big ruin is nice to hide things in, but that's all you get. Basically, the rest of the terrain is kind of immaterial for actually blocking line of sight. It's very gun line centric for sure.
So
Good thing I just went first.
2, 3. Killed 3 things. Okay. He's probably, you're right. You're going to lose 2 of those knights.
Okay, so it looks like
So
we
this
are
is pod.
fudging. I think we're fudging the move of this Lord of Skulls a little bit. The hitbox in the model, it looks like, is actually larger than the physical model itself. So he should be about an inch and a half, full inch and a half further closer to this ruin wall. So the player's working it out where that guy's supposed to be, but unfortunately, Bruce Stallion running into a couple of TTS specific issues that you wouldn't hit in a normal game, which is fairly unfortunate, but.
Kind of seems like he ran into you.
Wow.
Kind of ran into your ruling.
Well, he should have read the rules packet. It's not my fault.
Good rolling.
That's a fair point.
I could even see what.
Yeah, but you are right though. You have to take a little bit of like just this is kind of how it's intended because you could with the hitboxes on some of these models you could just punish yourself so badly.
Yeah. I wonder if he had a little bit more room to maneuver in the center, but that those hitboxes were having some trouble. We had some interesting interaction between the terrain pieces yesterday. We tried to put a drop pod next to these ruins, and the drop pod would just fall over for no reason, over and over, because a little bit of their hitbox is interacting. It was pretty silly actually. So.
Did you figure out how to open the drop pods yet? You can
you go to state 2 and all the doors open.
Oh, it's state 1, state 2. Okay, got it.
And it's cool. It's animated. All the doors open like a, they actually drop down, and there's a sound effect.
Well, and the drop pod has there's a sound effect for the drop pod.
Yeah, there's a sound effect for the drop pod. Yeah, very cool.
It actually, I think they pulled it from Dawn of War.
Yeah,
drop pod sound.
I imagine so.
So it's actually pretty cool the way people are adding in like sound files to certain models and pulling it from Dawn of War 3, which, as we all probably know what happened to that poor game. But the fact that they're pulling models off of it to use for the actual game and sound effects is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's so crazy after how much of like a cult game Dawn of War 2 is.
Still to this day.
It has competitive events that pull 10 to 20,000 views. Like, there's a huge community of people watching Dawn of War 2 tournaments right now. Insanity.
I think that's what they were trying to do with Dawn of War 3 is try to make it into like an esport.
Right.
But they kind of forgot the fundamentals of what the Dawn of War game was. And I think sometimes you don't do a Hail Mary on your RTS shot. Just keep what people like.
Yeah, and it definitely it helps that Dawn of War 1 and 2 definitely remembered that they were based on a tabletop game, and it seemed, I never played Dawn of War 3, but it definitely seemed like they tried to make it into more of a kind of
opening cinematic for Dawn of War 3. Absolutely incredible. Gameplay wise, it's just a hot mess.
Certainly the coolest representation of Eldar, I think, in 40K anywhere.
But they abandoned that game like within I think a month of it coming out. Like they didn't even. At least Mass Effect Andromeda took like 3 months before they said they're going to cancel all the stuff for it. Like, geez, they canceled that game quick.
They go away, but I've got 2 6s. So I'll just drag these.
Yeah, but that's probably enough. Might not even need to reroll that. Here we go.
Okay, you start rolling now.
Stick saves. He's dead.
Yeah, okay.
Well, it looks like we're just gonna pull this rampage here before we roll too many dice on him. See ya, buddy. Yep. So there's the 2 knights in the center down. It's a 1-on-1 fight now. Double battle cannon versus.
He's gonna try to bring him back.
Oh, is he? Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
He's just gonna get killed by a venom crawler, isn't he? Ethan in the chat likes Dawn of War 3. Well, I guess we suck.
Ethan, I was hoping for nothing but the best things out of it, but I mean, they kind of ruined the game.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a controversial statement here. I don't understand why people like Dawn of War 1. I don't get it.
Oh, because it came out in 2004. It was one of the initial good games, and it had every single army. And it was supported for 4 years.
No Tyranids.
You can download the Tyranid pack and have a full Tyranid army voiced in Dawn of War Apocalypse mod, they have modded every race into that game, and the fact that it's still supported and still cool. I mean, they're still using in TTS the Castellan Creed model that you had the game last night. That was from Dawn of War 1. Like, that's a Dawn of War 1 model that they pulled the picture out and applied to TTS.
Yep.
Dawn of War 2 was a little more fast paced. I kind of like the base building, the slow. StarCraft kind of like Dawn of War 1, but Dawn of War 2 was much more fast paced, more like Company of Heroes ish, so like squad based, which was still very fun, and they supported it for a couple expansions. But then Dawn of War 3, they just kind of made it into like a MOBA, which was super like weird. That there was constantly summoning units just walking on predetermined paths to attack certain locations. And then the storyline was a hot mess.
Did not come back.
She failed to save.
Yeah, I think that's
Ethan, oh come on, you can't say that. Corona elbow bump. It is.
Good job, chat. Dawn of War 2 for life, guys.
Let's go. Maxed up again, man.
So I brought this up the other day. I need chat to get behind me on this. I'm gonna campaign. Let's get some 2014 Space Marine third-person shooter games going, guys. Nobody plays that game multiplayer. 2015, 2014. When did Space Marine come out?
2011.
2011?
Oh, you get.
Yep.
Oh, I'm way off.
Also, really good game. I want to see an expansion for Fire Warrior, which I thought was a great game.
Oh, it was 2011. Wow, I was off, like super off. Let's get some Space Marine games going, everybody. I want to play Space Marine.
I have a weird memory. You can play Dark Imperial if you want to do the dead just Space Marine shooter.
Dark Imperial. What is that? What?
That is the 32 or 64 on 64 Space Marine Eldar Orcs Tyranids combat game.
The game was going to be like an MMO and then turned into like a different thing.
Correct. So
does that exist yet?
Was supposed to be in it. Yeah, but it's dead. It's completely dead.
Is it? No.
They tried. They got the rights to the MMO, and then they had people buy pre-buy the game before it went anywhere. Mm-hmm. So you could buy. It's kind of like with the Star game, Star Citizen. So you could spend like $500 and give yourself like a huge bonus once everything came out. So they did that, and then the game tanked, and then no one got anything. And then it wasn't what it was promised, and now it's dead. And it's a shame because it was supposed to be pretty cool.
That sucks.
If you actually go to YouTube and look at what the MMO was supposed to be, it's actually really cool. There's like greater demons of Nurgle, and there's like vehicles and orcs and knights and titans. And then, like I said, there was a weird distribution. I don't know. It was super awkward, but the actual commercial is really awesome. If you watch it,
I can my Discord will jump to 6 wounds automatically.
Yeah.
I'm gonna boost. I'm gonna boost him. There's no reason not to. Sorry, my Discordant. I'm trying to check what his profile is.
So it looks like that was the end of Bruce Stallion's turn. We saw the Lord Discordant drop to half health in the center, but not destroyed.
Yeah. But 4 of those were from Overwatch, correct? When he charged into the other.
I think that's true. Yeah, he ate a flamer shot. Oh, he ate the big cannon shot from the Lord of Skulls.
I think having that knight in the far back, he's probably going to be able to knock out both those venom crawlers on 3. And he's hopefully going to move it a little bit so it can't be targeted by the Lord of Skulls, limiting to what the Lord of Skulls can do.
Yeah, we see probably see a cagey game around these 2 L's in the center.
They are completely tied right now.
Whoever shoots first is gonna. Although I don't think we've scored Big Game Hunter on Doom King yet, right?
They both should be maxed. Yep, we have not scored Big Game on Doom King.
If I can get over here and take away your impulse save, I might try to kill your big guy. So let's see how close I can get.
What an interesting game, where I think it's literally just going to come down to the Lord of Skulls that's stuck.
I know. Yeah, that unfortunate deployment from Bruce Stallion.
I can go trade Discordant for Discordant. If I kill you.
And we'll see if this Battle Cannon Knight plays cagey. Yeah, there's the tree.
He's drawing the tree.
If that Battle Cannon Knight plays cagey,
I can go hide and kill these two Venom Crawlers.
then that gives this Lord of Skulls the opportunity to advance to Objective 4.
You see what he's writing?
Yeah. Fuck the tree.
Great penmanship for this.
Right there, within range of the objective.
I think that makes Bruce Stallion a tree hugger.
Ah, I see what you did there.
Got him.
That's funny. Got him.
Yeah, but that gives him a chance to run and potentially get around that corner, get on Objective 4, and make some tape. Make up some area of the table here. It's really going to be whoever shoots first in this matchup, because they're going to be able to cripple the other knight, I guess. But downside is the Lord of Skulls doesn't really lose much efficacy being hit, so he can take the first punch if he needs to.
Well, let's look at secondaries. Ground control, probably not going to happen. Old school is probably not going to happen for Bruce. I think engineers, I think he actually gets 2 engineer points because he's got 1 in his base and 1 in the center. So he's actually scoring 2 engineers a turn. He's max big game. He's not going to be able to hold. I think a lot. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be interesting because a lot's going to come down to disco and disco. Some sweet disco and disco action here.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that's a good course of action. So I'm just going to.
If Stallion's disco is able to slingshot out, slam into 5, possibly.
I am not. Instead, he's right here, right?
I'm shocked that this sorcerer is still alive. Can we talk about that for a sec?
I think there were other target priorities they had to deal with.
Yeah, this jump pack sorcerer warp timed himself on turn 1 to double move with advancing, and then charge into the center of the table. And nobody shot him. He was okay. He killed some brimstone horrors, and now he's running back to Objective 5.
Sometimes you just have to forge a narrative.
Yeah. He's should have taken Born for Greatness on that guy.
Discordant. What shall I do?
He'd already be at
Postman.
3 points on Born for Greatness. Yeah, Postman.
Oh yeah, we give him Postman.
Yeah, unfortunately, he becomes such a big target when he's the Postman. I think he gets shot immediately.
Yeah,
that's a fair point.
I'm gonna advance my Discordant and see what he gets as well. I should have done him first. No, I was first. So he can go 16. Oh, his movement did down, didn't it? His second profile. His movement right now.
This turning into a really technical game of 40K. I'm pretty excited about how this turned out. We had the big fight in the middle. Four Titans died, and now we're gonna play a cagey game.
Uh-huh. I think this game's turned into real kerfuffle because I think his Knight Despoiler is out of range of the Lord of Skulls. So I mean, I don't think the Lord of Skulls has anything outside.
Won't be able to shoot at him potentially. Yeah. So I think Tomb King's just trying to hide right now from it.
I think I'm gonna try to do a deny turn.
That's all you gotta do. All he's gotta do is kill those Venoms, kill the green Lord Disco, and laugh his way to the bank on secondaries. Nope. That's interesting.
See ya. Yeah, Tomb King's Discordant is almost dead, right? He's halfway dead. So he wants to just pull him back, heal a couple wounds, and prevent the easy kill for Bruce Stallion.
I think he finally figured out that to get the bonus point, you got to have 1 character on 3 objectives, and I'm starting to see characters start moving towards objectives, which is nice.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's going to be able to grab it because he's only got 3 characters left. So.
Yep. He's got the Knight, he's got the Sorcerer, and he's got the Lord Disco.
Hope everybody in the chat is enjoying the game as well. Looks like it's going to come to a pretty tight end here, so excited to see who takes this one down. Real MVP of the game has been these 15 Chaos Space Marines. Just
Just
sitting on
on
hold more.
objectives.
Just sitting on hold more.
That's it.
You don't have to put a big old stompy knight back there. You can just put 5 Chaos Space Marines. Get a couple engineer points.
I should have boosted
Give them 8
weapon.
CPs.
Right.
I imagine if we see these guys run back into
Yeah.
their little hidey hole, and so they're not as they don't get picked up easily.
I need you to whiff.
Yep. I agree.
I will hard pass on that whip.
I think this is going to be the swing turn right here, though.
All right, second phase. I'm gonna go ahead and warp time.
Because realistically, you do just ignore the Lord of Skulls for the rest of the game. You just go, okay, kill him, go for it.
Goes off on a 10.
Yeah.
So he's just gonna definitely jump back here.
Yeah, you just plan on hold more and win on that. Lyle, we don't have any more streams scheduled for today,
And then
unfortunately.
Ozark powers
But we will have more later this week. The next one I know for sure is on Friday, but I think we'll have more as they pop up, as they get scheduled.
You're not going to do another 14 hours stream today?
If I had 14 hours of games to stream, I would.
Because like theoretically, I could
It's all about the content.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I'm just gonna take their shots. I guess. Well, no. Yeah, I'm gonna move. If you don't mind. Sorry.
Yeah, of course I don't mind. Oh god, Captain, go for it. Never gonna get shitty about that kind of thing.
Because they should still get, as long as they start and then range of an engineer objective, they
Yeah.
still get attacked.
They can't shoot them, but making it probably easier for me to see them though. I can't see them at the moment.
Just locking down that center
I'll make
objective.
it easier for DBC.
Now, but that being said, that other disco, they have a 12-inch move. Is that correct?
Sneak a shot.
That sounds right to me.
I think you were.
So there, he's probably going to beeline right to objective 5. And see
Yeah.
try to
Yeah, unless that battle cannon wants to go into him.
Just trying to keep them closer.
The disco could see, but he might be dead in a minute. But
That's fair.
That's the plan.
I think he's probably going to get the crawlers this turn, though. I think those are going to be his big priority.
Sounds like Tomb King just said in the player Discord there. The plan is to shoot at the Lord Discordant and probably charge this forward Venom Crawler.
yeah, it's real good.
All right, that's what I've done. All right, moving on to shooting.
He's shooting both battle cannons at the Lord Discord.
Discord here's gonna go and shoot this guy that's not wounded. Or
Hasn't declared yet. We're going to shoot the Discordant
Yeah.
first.
D6 shots. Just the 2. Strength is 6. Just the 1 save. Ignorance 2.
This was on the Venom.
Yeah.
5. Loves it.
He loves it.
Saves from the Lord Discordant Flamer on the Venom Crawler. There's one. This one's wounded. I should know. It's down 3 wounds.
I'm gonna shoot my boosted at the Discordant.
Yeah.
Non-boosted here.
Okay, so it looks like we are splitting fire from this despoiler.
This guy still, right?
The big demon-infused gun is going to
I'm gonna
shoot at
shoot
the Lord
all-
Discordant. The standard one's going to shoot at the
All 9
wounded
DACA
Venom
shots
Crawler.
here, and my
Yeah.
top shot here.
Lovely.
I think that's what you do.
It's actually splitting between all eligible targets. We have 1 battle cannon going here, 1 battle cannon going here, all of his small guns going into
9.
this last Venom Crawler.
Cool.
Yep, the wounded crawler, probably.
Come on.
No, into the close one, actually, the unwounded one.
Your name is
Oh.
Lord Discord.
Yeah, because I guess he's going to try to plink it and then charge.
Right, he's going to charge, yeah. Try to step on it.
Need freeze.
Ah!
Character. Strength is 9. Need 3s.
Threes.
Okay, so
Ouch.
for these, those are they get a 3 AP, and
So
these are all
these
negative 2
will
AP.
be 4s, there will be 5s. So
Sixes do different.
we'll do these first. Oh, flippin' Nora. 4s. Come on, live.
Oh,
Ooh!
I said live, damn it.
that's all.
Yikes.
Yep.
D3 plus 1.
Uh,
Yeah, he's gone.
Boom.
Yep. Blows up the Lord Discordant.
6, 7,
Oof.
10, 11, 12.
Oops.
Oh.
That was a phenomenal roll, though.
Wah, wah.
It's a hell of a shot.
Yeah.
Bad.
Nah, yeah. Team King saying that in
6
the
shots at the.
chat
guy
too.
there.
That was one hell of a
7.
shot.
Some people don't like the battle cannon, but I need that extra punch.
The range is really good. I mean, it's, you know. Like,
These need 3s. Oh, just 3.
so this will be 5s.
3D3.
Oh man.
Jesus.
And it's 5. And he gets
5 more. He's down. He's
Oh,
bottom
this is
bracket.
going perfectly.
Do I want to CP one of those to try to kill him? I think I do. I'm gonna go ahead and CP one of those.
Not a bad turn. Not a bad turn at all.
Oh.
Yeah, Venom Crawler down to 2. Looks like I mean, it might be worth a multi-charge. Oh, never mind, he's just dead.
Sorry, I thought
kidding.
that was worth the 1 CP.
It looks like he
well,
rerolled a
what a
damage
turn.
roll to kill the Venom Crawler
Well,
there.
I think that's probably.
Wow. Okay. Well,
I think that's probably, yeah.
that game could, or that turn could not have gone better for Tomb King. We'll see how his charge phase goes.
Yeah, it's always a risk whenever you split fire. It's kind of one of those things where you either get rewarded or you get punished for it. And he definitely got rewarded for it.
Yep.
9 deck of shots at the guy in front of me. 3 hits.
Jeez, so many shots.
5. Alright, so 2 AP minus 1 and 1 regular save.
More wounds.
1 regular save.
Right off the bat, fails 1.
Jeez.
Fails 2 more.
Oh,
Okay.
man, dude. This is hard to watch.
Yeah, this is kind of abuse at this point.
3 wounds on the Venom Crawler, just from random pop guns. We got some stubbers. We got an iron hail. Easy.
So, we think we're done there.
Yeah. You charge it.
Jeez.
And he's got, what, 15 stomp attacks coming in, too?
Oh, no, you still got the top gun to shoot it, I think.
Oh, that's
did I
not even
save
all
the
the
top
guns.
gun there?
Yeah,
I didn't know if I said. Okay.
We haven't even fired
Okay,
the rocket pod yet. Ooh, beer. Oh, dear.
Oh, shit.
I get 6 shots. Why not?
All right. I was kind of wanting to
That's
charge
fine.
here. But
Oh
I mean, I'm not going to be too upset about doing what.
Oh, but you're hitting on. Oh, you should be hitting on.
Oh, shit. 3s. I'm not profiled yet.
Oh, you didn't profile. Okay.
Oh, well.
All right, well, we're
there's
coming back
one.
around a little bit.
Now
Only
we
1
are.
wound. A bunch of 1s to make everyone feel better about
4 up.
themselves. And he fails.
Now you know how it feels.
Oh, no.
Alright, go on then. Go and get
All right, charge.
Oh,
Oh, dear.
I get to do something.
Mhm.
I get 2 shots.
Man, these
Wow.
ones are crazy right now.
I told you the dodge.
Reverse odds. Nope.
Nope. In
Okay.
you come.
9-inch charge.
Andy
Actually, I have no
Patton
reason to
back
skip
in this
that. I just don't
in the stream
feel
after
that
his game
it's
yesterday.
neutral as possible
Welcome back,
here.
man. The chat talking telling the saga of this tree that the players unfortunately deleted early, but that is against the rules. You're not allowed to delete these trees, and you can't end your movement on top of them. So this Lord of Skulls is being held up by this one little piece of shrubbery here. He has to have the movement to move over it, and his base is really long. So next turn, I think we'll see him clear it, but
All right.
he's been sitting there for 2 turns, hanging out.
Guys can always fill out a comment card.
Attached there. He's got.
Nathan
attacks.
Fennel, yeah, the deployment of
I'm gonna do all the.
Lord of
stompy
Skulls was
stomps.
not optimal, but
Oh,
unfortunately,
you have to, don't you?
Bruce Stallion not rolling up the best
Just do 4
deployment
attacks.
zones here, and he was stuck with Dawn of War, and I think that was the only legal place where it could be deployed. It could potentially go on this side, but I'm not sure it can leave. I think it's too wide to leave this ruin.
3s. 5s. Okay, 3, 3. So, yeah, you could fail. Pretty well.
Oh, but does he explode for damage? That should be the one.
Hey, of course it doesn't.
So, that
day
Night
where I
Explorer
roll
split
one,
its
so I
shots,
go, well,
getting a
that's-
little greedy,
that's the
and
tempo.
rewarded for its greed.
So,
So
He took out 3 units that turn.
The Lord Discordant and 2 Venom Crawlers.
Yep.
I did not. I only have 2.
okay.
And
But I did
Well,
go
it's
both
still out of range
engineers.
of the Lord of Skulls.
Cool.
I did give him a mark to death.
Cool.
And big game.
Does not want to max his big game, does
Oh
he?
yeah, big game hunter. Gorgeous. So yeah, I got 3 there.
Okay.
Actually, I'm out.
Alright. Yep. We maxed out the Big Game Hunter.
There's
Putting the
4
Chaos Knight solidly in the lead.
Can I fit through this tree on? Because if I can't, this is a bit academic.
Yeah, I don't even know if he could get an objective this turn.
Just advance. You just
Yeah,
advance that
yeah,
guy.
yeah,
Should have advanced last
Sit here,
turn.
like right here. So yeah, 10-inch
Oh,
moves,
measure
becomes the objective. Or,
Yeah.
Not sure where you're trying to go, but
Well, I'm trying to go.
The physics.
yeah, you're coming out.
There we
Yeah,
go.
you're good.
Okay, it looks like Blair's deciding he can move across there.
Yeah.
Well, you know, mistakes.
The position of the Lord of Discord, or the Lord of Skulls was a little awkward because his hitbox actually interacts with his ruin. So he was about 2
You're out of
inches
line of
farther
sight and
forward,
range.
which is why there was a little
Just in
awkward
range, but I might
part.
be line of sight.
So it looks like he didn't have to advance
No,
to
line of sight.
get
Well,
his
in
objective
range.
this turn, so that's good.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think he
Okay, cool.
probably just picks these
however,
guys
I
up,
can
right?
see this space marine, so I will get a kill.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like Tomb King
that's,
forgot
Sorry,
to move
what
those
was-
guys.
I haven't even shot that thing the whole game.
Oh, the guys in the back?
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, well,
the
then you
guys in
have
the
to move for
corner.
whatever's
The
left.
guys in the
to
corner.
kill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Tomb King moved them out to shoot the autocannon and forgot to move them back in the next turn. And
I don't
they're
think
gonna
they've
die.
done anything this. I don't think they've done anything in this game. I think Dogs kind of keeps forgetting.
I believe they plinked a Lord of Skulls for 2 wounds or something.
Did they?
Yeah, on the turn 1.
Yeah, he's gonna try to spread everything out now, but I mean, he's gonna basically get
Turn
another
should be
battle
nice
cannon
and
into the dome next turn.
Yeah.
Right into that night.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting Titanic duel here. We'll see if we get that
blood
stratagem
sausage
used. I don't think we
monster.
will, but I was hoping, but
It's got
no.
one CP left.
no chance to use it. But it's going to be an interesting fight between these two ranged monsters. The big difference is that the Lord of Skulls doesn't have to hurt itself to supercharge its gun, and the Knight Despoiler is actually getting pretty low on hit points. It's taken 8 damage so far over the course of the game. A lot of that from
Himself.
straining itself to overcharge the battle cannon. Obviously doing a ton of damage, but
Oh,
one
there's
shot
just gonna turn that.
soup from the souped up Lord of
It
Skulls
won't make
here
one.
could potentially see this Knight Despoiler taken out.
But what's the max range on all the Lord Skull's guns? Does he
I
have something that
think
can-
it's
right,
most
okay,
it's
so-
it's just out of range this turn, I believe. I think it's mostly 48s.
So he's
Yeah,
gonna get
48s
one
on
more
both
turn.
of its heavy guns there. Yep.
Oh,
Right, so
is that enough? That's gonna be close.
Got it.
Got it. Perils.
I think they decided
Probably already
that
measured
where
it.
it had to move. Yeah,
Cool.
it was either out of range or out of line of sight.
Cool, so you're gonna really kill
wherever it was
these,
going to end up going.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what? A kill's a kill. A hold's a hold.
That's what I get for putting them out there. Not even.
So that's a kill and hold for the Lord of
Yeah.
Skulls. Brings him a little bit back up, but unfortunately, the Chaos Knight's really dominating the board right now.
What did he kill?
Saving that.
He killed
in
the
case
Chaos
something like
Beast.
this happens.
Oh,
Oh, actually, he's still rolling out the Chaos Space Runes, I guess.
Reroll
It
one.
sounded like he'd killed them in the chat, but
He should be able to kill them.
Okay. You will leave 3 2s there. Got 3 6s.
Okay.
2s. Reroll that one. Okay,
Hey.
so that will be 10 at -2.
okay.
And you will have cover.
10 wounds from the Gatling Cannon.
Even though I'm an Iron Warrior. Seems a bit wrong, but there you go.
Hey, Imperial Fist shouldn't do it too. I think
No,
that
I
was
know.
most
It's so
of the thing.
annoying.
Oh shit. I got the red dice here for you now. 4 ups. We're
Got
dead.
him.
Cool.
Got him.
That's
Just a kill
curtains
one.
for those
Kill one, hold one.
Chaos Space Marines.
That's what I get.
Yep. Yeah, he's staying on the scoreboard.
So if you left those
The,
Marines within an inch, and I'm not
Yeah.
within 12 anyway.
The
You're
Lord of
smart,
Skulls
Hard pass.
isn't
Yes.
out of the game yet. You know, the Chaos Knights list is not
Hold.
has not been able to push far enough forward on the score that they
Right,
can't
your
see a
turn.
comeback from this
This
Lord of
is why-
Skulls.
yeah.
But I
So I
think
did
there might
kill
just be
more
too much on the
hold
table between all these little units that can run around and grab objectives.
And it looks like I'm gonna get into
Mhm.
right here.
You
So I
can't
can
get it
actually
at once.
where to move.
So what do you think happens
No,
now?
no, no.
I almost,
The Knight's
I
gonna
almost
move out of
wonder.
three.
So the tech
One.
play here, right, is to run these the Marines in the
Shouldn't
center
be
directly at the Lord of Skulls, and then warp time
So,
them and
this
just
has to
surround
like
where it can
16
move because
moves.
if it can't move through these ruins,
Um,
you put them just outside of an inch, and then you put this battle
What
cannon
do I
guy
do
just
here?
outside of its
Like,
range, and you get to shoot it for a free
Why?
turn, and it won't get to shoot back.
you ain't gonna be able to get ground
Okay,
control.
how about? I like it. But how about
That's
you
cool.
warp
You can
time
hold
the
one
disco?
turn,
Disco slams into it,
kill
followed
one
by
turn.
or with the
I
battle
could
cannon
literally
shots,
hide the
or
game.
after the battle cannon shots.
If I wanted to.
Yeah, Disco's gonna heal himself. He's gonna be unbracketed at this point. Definitely could make it there.
Because I just can't.
Just try to kill
So
it
what do you
and
think?
end the
Warp
game.
time?
That's the.
And I mean, you saw the one disco did.
Yeah.
Was it 15 wounds to one? I mean, he's gonna have to take a double battle cannon shot
Striker is
or
now
double battle
protecting
cannon
your
shot
left.
to the dome, and then
Nice.
get the disco afterwards. I think that could probably seal it up.
Oh,
Or you play
just got the
cautiously,
profile.
but I mean, I think
That's
he's
good.
ahead enough points right now. I don't think it's.
The thing is,
It's 8 ahead right now. Oof, it's gonna be tough.
It's
Right, and he picked ground control for his secondary objectives. So that's
so
gonna
I've
be
just got to chase you around the board.
That's true.
you'd have
Yeah,
to
the
get-
ground control
You'd have to
pick
get all three
Yeah.
on those
is,
three characters. But you'd have to separate. the
really
real
biting
skull.
him in the butt right now.
I would, but
I think you just let you try to get warp speed off, and you try to slam dunk this game and call it.
it's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, just
I'm not saying
put it down. Yeah, it's not like either of these
It's
plans give up
not
easy
like-
kills, so it's you almost just might as well
So-
give him the
Trying
Lord
to think
Discordant.
if I want to boost the, do your movement go down
Downside
with
is
your
if you
profile?
fail that warp time,
Sorry?
then you give up the Lord
Your
Discordant for
movement goes down
nothing.
with your profile.
So
correct?
it was a little dicey.
I'm not
As you
But you are looking at 4d6
Yeah, I know.
battle
If
cannon
I
shots.
wound you,
And this is the one that has the reroll hits against Titans,
if I do
which is
knock you over-
huge,
Yeah.
by the way.
Big deal in the
Wave
matchup.
goes down, yeah. So you want to shoot.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was asking.
yeah.
Lyle,
I'm trying to think
when you
of
upload the
that
video,
actually
can we make the
works.
thumbnail a close
Trying
up
to
of
see
the
if I
fuck
can
this
kill
tree?
you. If I can kill him, then
Note on the table.
issue is if I fail, it's gonna hurt. I still have the discordant out there too. I can actually torpedo the discordant, believe it or not. He's got a cool profile.
Yeah.
That's actually.
What's the name
so
of the tree?
starters,
I
I'm
don't
gonna
know.
boost my
You
knight.
guys have any good
Well,
names for that one tree?
No reason not to.
Triumus Maximus?
A boom. He takes one wound. There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Bow down to your Barkin savior. How about that one?
Trying
That's a
to
good
kill
one.
yourself then. Getting a lot of control. Okay. Discordant will advance.
Oh, it looks like we might see this Discordant coming out.
That's going to go a good whopping 16.
Yeah,
now.
he's just gonna go in for
Okay,
the
yeah, he's just
Uh,
going for it. We're just gonna dive.
Yeah.
YOLO.
I'm going to have to move twice.
He's got 1 CP for a reroll. That's all
Yep.
he's got.
And
That's
Disco,
important.
you're going to eat a shit ton of Overwatch, buddy.
That's
And they're
important.
gonna
I mean, I think
on
even
YouTube.
Get him in there.
even in best case scenario, I
Now that I
think
think about
the
it.
Lord of Skulls is definitely going to bracket this turn no matter what. I think that one knight is made to kill other knights.
Yeah.
Because that has a 6 to wound is additional -1 rerolls against Titans.
Yeah,
Ugh,
it's really a cagey game
If I go around here,
because, like I was
go
saying
all the
before,
way
the despoiler's so
there,
damaged
go
at this
down
point
the
that I think a round of shooting from the
Could be
skulls,
7
the Lord of Skulls,
Yeah, we'll call it 8.
could
Call
theoretically
it 8,
see
get
it
around the
dead.
corner.
Stalwart
advance
Steve,
another
the
8.
tree.
I agree, but I mean, how are you going to get your points back? I mean, you picked ground control for a secondary. I mean, he's only got 2 models left on the board. Like, he can only get a max of 2
Right
points
there.
from the secondary.
Which would require another movement.
Ooh, that Lord. He's actually
So-
increasing the size of a
This
Lord.
Lord of Skulls is
Revenge. Sorry.
It would make an easy charge, but as I
has
said, I
grown
think Overwatch-
large in his time off the table. Oh, now he's
Yeah.
gone.
So I think I got
I knew you.
keep these
Yeah.
tucked away for one more turn.
Okay, looks like we actually decided not to throw the Lord of Skull
I'm going to
or
move
the
the
Lord
Sorcerer
Discordant out
jump
there.
back. He goes 16.
Yeah, I think he
Sorry
realizes
about
that
that.
he's not going to be at any risk of you
Gonna
getting
use
charged.
me
You
here.
just go for the smite, and then you just go for the
I
battle
guess you
cannon
can get to him
shots.
either way.
Yeah, I wonder
Yeah.
if he can actually just deny
16 for
kills
this.
entirely.
Prostitute here. I
He's
won't
not going to be able to
hide.
target the sorcerer with the
Right.
squad.
He can't shoot the sorcerer. He can keep those pink marines in the middle. I think out of line of sight probably. I don't think. I mean, I don't think you stop shooting with the battle cannon knight though, right?
Okay.
Like,
I'm gonna do something
and I
here.
think
Here.
wherever he stands, he's going to be in range to be shot back. I believe.
I think.
Threat's 58 on that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just going for the smite. He's just trying to try to get a smite in there.
Well, he can smite and then warp time back, right?
Yep.
Yeah, warp time any direction.
Yep. So it just
So it's gotta
jumps
roll
back
nice.
out of combat.
I still think I like the smite on the Lord Disco and just slamming him in there.
You know what? Actually, I want to try to get up range. So,
You like the warp time on it? Yeah, I think the issue is that after
we gotta
the
get on the
4-inch
ship now.
advance, it was going to be, because he had to go around the wall, it was going to be like an 8-inch charge. I don't think he was comfortable with that.
Yeah, I know, but you got a CP to reroll. I mean, you're probably gonna bracket him. I'd say put the nail in the coffin. But yeah, play smart. But I mean, like he's so far ahead on secondary, so it just doesn't matter.
So the knight moving forward here, a bit of an interesting choice. I wonder if you instead you
Battle cannon range is only 72 plus. I think he wants to get the numbers maybe in there.
I should just do your coordinate if I was going. These engineers in the middle. What to do?
Do you know what he picked for his engine or his engine of destruction?
Take it out.
For his which?
For his engine.
Oh, for the demonic household trait.
No
yeah, I believe it was the buffed the gun. He only rolled a 1 for the wounds on him.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
So it was basically free pick right there.
The game I watched, the game I watched him play against my buddy, he rolled on one night 3 rounds in a row of 3 damage. And I remember he was very, very unhappy about that.
Yeah. Well, if you pick +1 toughness, right, then it's basically the same as +1 toughness is pretty worth 3 more wounds, I think, on a 24 wound model.
People definitely underestimate what a toughness 9 means for weapon systems in this game.
We're going to start off with Death Hex.
Oh, we're trying to Death Hex this guy.
Goes off on a 10.
Yikes. Okay.
What does Death Hex do? Is that the
removes his invulnerable save.
Is that the amount of shots? Oh,
no, that's it. That was the deny roll on the Death Hex. So we rolled a 10 for Death Hex, 8 for deny. So Death Hex goes off, gets rid of the invulnerable save.
Okay, I thought.
And I think we're just trying to shoot to death now.
Going for the 1 damage smite.
Solid.
27.
Gives away the sorcerer.
So no invul saves.
Yeah.
So no invul saves. Is it Lord of Skull 2 up or 3 up? Base.
They are 3
I can't roll these together because I've.
Yep.
So he rolls a 6 to wound with his battle cannon, and he's a 6 to save.
I did do that. So here's red. Yep.
We came back around on the battle cannon shot.
There's 7 shots boosted. So that's why I did that, because I didn't know what that would do.
7.
Alright, reroll a hit.
Did he spend his last CP to reroll that?
Yes, he did. He rolled a 1, I think.
Alright.
7 hits.
Oh, I don't reroll wound.
5.
But it is 3 to wound. So
4,
these 2 at the top, obviously
5.
they're extra.
2 of them are neg 3.
So AP -2 for those.
So 5s.
So 2 of the standard shots go through. Or the non.
These would be 6s.
6 shots.
Very annoying.
Yeah. Made 1 save.
So 3d.
Alright, so I did 3 total, right?
So 4d6
3 plus
damage.
1.
Oh.
Yikes, dude.
14 to the dome.
It's 11 from that shot right there. It's 3d3 plus. It's 3d3 plus 3 right now.
Right?
So
2d6 shots from the other.
And now we're shooting the regular gun. Oh my god.
I
just roll a 10, man.
This
17.
40k is an easy game.
Yeah.
That one night just pumped out 17 shots.
17 strength 8 and 9 shots. Wow,
Pretty good.
Man.
Rerolling hits. Rerolling hits.
Any 3s?
Okay.
That conversion,
That's
though.
10 hits. That 10 hits is pretty good.
Boy.
That would be 7 more wounds.
Yeah.
2 of them at neg 3.
So these
I think that's it.
Let's see.
Oh!
Oh! But that save comes right back around.
9.
And higher save one needs 6s.
2d3 from the standard battle cannon shot, and 2
That's
more
4D.
from the
4D.
rending.
43 damage for 7.
7. Puts him down to 9.
Yep. And this is where the disco goes in and finishes him off.
Feel good.
It's a bracket, though.
Yeah, that puts him on his mid bracket. That's only really going to affect his movement.
So we'll see 6 shots.
I think it is. I don't know. We'll see.
6 shots with the Top Gun.
Oh, we're firing the missile launchers on him now.
Shoot the missiles now.
Need 3s. 3s. And 5.
Full hit. Great conversion rate.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Okay.
Jesus.
Those are
4 more
2
wounds
AP
on the
minus
missiles.
1 and 2 AP minus 1.
All
And
right. Well,
these are 2 wound missiles, aren't they?
Chad, I
This is
think I'm
way
playing
more
Chaos
effective
Knights in
than
the
my
next
friend
pod.
again. How is it so good?
You
Chaos
just
is
roll all
terrible.
5s
Don't
and
play
6s when
Chaos.
you play them, man.
no,
I guess.
2,
Apparently.
Chaos is terrible.
2
AP
5s.
minus 1.
I
So
would-
these are flat 2 damage
I would be
missiles.
more. I would be more
you.
into playing
Yeah.
Chaos if like half of each pod wasn't Chaos of Soupless.
Yeah.
They're everywhere now.
Okay, +1, so that's 2,
Okay,
I think.
he's down to 7
Yep,
so
2
far.
damage.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then 2
He made 1. He's got
2.
2 more neg 2s.
Yeah.
Failed 1, made 1. So he's
Puts him
down
to
to 5
puts him to
health.
bottom bracket.
Pretty good.
That's gonna be, I think that should be enough to
5
spend my life.
health.
These
God, you know, he should have
20.
moved
I
his.
gotta use the
23 damage from that Knight Despoiler. Boom.
Ugh.
That is brutal.
Oh, here's the stubbers.
2 in this.
8
and
hits
5.
out of stubbers. Okay, let's see them. 6s.
2 AP
2
minus
wounds. 2 at neg. I think they're neg 1.
And this is the...
Stubbers just 2 more wounds neg 1.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 stubbers
Oh,
on that
takes
guy.
2.
Oh,
Just took 2 more wounds from the stubber.
Oh, why?
He's at-
Not like
He's
this.
at 3 health. 3 health.
Uh-oh.
I bet he's wishing he would have put his Chaos Marines out in the open so we could have bolted him down.
I know, you could kill him with bolters.
Got 3 left.
Oh my gosh.
Charge me with the
See, I
sorcerer.
told the Disco. Disco would have been it.
I'm barely at 12.
I think
think
considering
that's
a
me.
boxcar's
I
charge the
will- I've
sorcerer.
already maxed out my
Decided
move.
not to though.
Mm.
Yeah. So,
Oh my gosh, man.
I did not kill one, but I hold one.
So,
So he dealt.
right.
What did he deal? He dealt 20,
25
20
wounds.
25 wounds with 1 model.
25 wounds.
So all kind of...
To a lord.
One knight did.
Jeez.
One knight.
However,
One knight with 9 wounds on it did 25 wounds.
so 48 plus 4 is...
And like, not to be like,
2.
but the actual Lord of Skulls did make a lot of 6-up saves.
Yeah, he saved through those a lot.
He saved 5 6-up saves.
That was insanity.
Coming.
So,
Oh lordy, coming.
do you think he retaliates and tries to blast down the despoiler this turn?
Right, let's
Yeah,
I mean, I think you got it right. You kill it.
You shoot, you kill the knight, charge the sorcerer.
Yeah, his way out of this game. Yeah, exactly. You kill the knight, you charge the sorcerer, and you hope that the rest of the on the table can't get you. Maybe you get lucky on Overwatch on the Discordant, but I haven't.
He's gonna lose another turn of hold more. He could conceivably get, as long as he kills one thing. He has kill more, so that's 2 from there.
Oh wow. Okay.
But I mean, I still fall back on the secondaries. It's gonna kill him. Like, even if he does Hail Mary and come back from this, ground control with 2
Book it
models
that
is
way.
just almost next to impossible.
Yeah.
Well, it is impossible, but
Yeah, literally. Well, he's got 3 actually.
Literally.
In fairness, we have the Bloodmaster who's been hanging out here the whole time.
There's currently
where's
15.
the Bloodmaster? Oh,
He's
there he is.
right in
He
front of
does have 3.
the plow there. Yeah.
He's so camoed with the actual Lord of
I
Skulls.
know.
he gets.
It's so funny. Yeah, he's the same color as Lord of Skulls, and his base is the same color as the ruins. So he's really trying to be unnoticed. Interesting that guy wasn't with the Venom Crawlers. I think that's where I would have put him. He doesn't really help the Lord of Skulls in this loadout because none of his weapons are based on strength besides his melee.
I don't know. He did kind of put all 3 of his characters over with that Lord of Skulls in the corner. I would have had maybe something in the center. And you're right with the Venom Crawlers. Those guys need to be supported by stuff.
Yeah.
That'll happen.
Yeah, but as we saw, I mean, the Venom Crawlers got picked up by that insane turn of from this Despoiler. So in the end, I don't think it mattered, but it would have been nice to see them a little more effective the turn they got out.
But that was after the 2 Lord of Skulls went down. I mean, he had bigger threat priorities to deal with than those Venoms. I think he probably could have had a couple.
Oh, actually, I think I already used that last CP. One of my dice. So it's already gone.
I mean, I also think if he would have deployed the Lord of Skulls in the center of the board instead of near the tree of cheeseness, this game would have been a lot different.
Yeah, I don't think he had the. I think he literally did not have the space to deploy him in the center. Is what he was measuring before.
I think he probably could have put him towards the other ruin then. Kind of used the other ruin to get him out towards objective 3. At least the trees aren't right there.
He did declare every weapon is going into the knight. No CP for ion shields. So
no CP left. He used his last CP for that battle cannon reroll.
That wasn't a waste of my bloody life force. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's do
7
If you
wounds
could die, that would help me a lot.
from the Hades, it looks like.
I lose 10.
It looks like
Oh,
5.
10 damage. He's down to 5.
5.
Bam.
So now we have the Ichor cannon shooting. Only strength 7.
Oh,
One
no.
shot.
Only one shot, too.
Yes.
Oh,
I
no.
need
Hits up, hits.
That's
Hits.
not going to do it.
Hits.
5.
Yeah.
No.
Reroll 1.
This is getting stressful now.
Oh. Reroll 1s to wound.
Okay.
He gets the wound
Yay.
through. It's only a D3 on
I'll
that
take
Ichor
that,
cannon,
though.
though,
I'll
so it's
still
not going to kill him.
Yeah, I know. But it's the principle.
No, he goes through.
He fails to save.
Well,
1 hit through from killing that Knight Despoiler.
For 3 damage.
Oh,
he's
2
down to
left.
2.
This is not it. This is not it.
Ugh.
Oh my gosh, man. This Battle of the Titans here.
like to overwatch.
1 on
If
4
this game doesn't
wounds,
give you
1
an-
on 2.
If this doesn't give you an ulcer, I literally don't know what.
7.5. So it's 7-inch charge.
And a
Okay,
7-inch
like
I'm gonna shoot
charge.
my bolt pistol.
7-inch. No pressure. Overwatch.
And no hits.
I need to
See if you
stop.
chip one of those important wounds off Overwatch.
6.
No way.
Oh.
I think
Oh, that's so
measure it again.
brutal.
Yeah.
Oh,
One
no.
Flip table.
Table flip moment.
Yeah, you need to
Oh.
kill unit.
Yeah, right after Tomb King had that insane turn last round, or the round before last, where he killed 2 Venom Crawlers and a Discordant
Okay.
in one go.
So this is turn 1.
We see the Sword of Skulls
turn
just fail
5, yes.
by 1 to do everything.
Alright, well,
Oh, that's brutal.
I
see
think-
what I
I
got on
think
the
that's
other
it now, though.
Yep, I think that's going to put
Womp womp.
Chaos enough ahead that they're going to be able to pull this game out in the last 2 rounds.
But you're
Yeah.
hitting-
He's 10 points up right now. I think they're just kind of speed playing it.
Yeah, let's
That was-
listen in.
I've not done well there.
Okay, so I think this Bloodmaster.
Yeah.
It's actually closest to these guys now, so I might come out and start shooting.
So they are going to play it out.
Blazing.
You go for it.
I think I imagine we see a table here.
I think when you've killed the Lord of Skulls, we might kill this game. But
There's a pretty high chance.
Yeah, Bruce Stallion said he'll play through until the Lord of Skulls.
We're going with Dane. All right, I'm going to
We'll
take
see what
one
happens.
wound.
Okay.
and roll one.
And everyone chuckles.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I don't know. Bottom bracket on the Knight
D3.
Despoiler. Maybe he misses. 4 ups or 5 ups to hit.
I got +2 movement.
And he failed his. He couldn't
It's a wash.
roll the or
Yeah.
take the D3 to give his gun the bust.
So my
buff.
last
Yeah.
profile, I
He'll
now
kill
have-
himself.
He rolled
He
up,
could kill
yeah.
himself.
So he rolled up a movement buff on this guy this turn. Not
Yeah,
what you
we
want.
rolled this spoiler here.
No.
Um,
But you have to look. I mean, all you got to do is smite,
what to
bolters
do?
down,
Do I
bolter
want
it.
to go ahead and
You
try
know,
to
yeah,
deadlift?
he moved his guys to the
Try to
top
climb
floor.
up
I think he
master
smells blood right now. What's crazy is
come on, then.
those
Because that's
the
that guy.
Marines with the bolt guns on objective 2. Are they closer to
I'm
the
gonna-
actual
I'm
Bloodmaster?
going to advance my sorcerer.
Yes.
You see what I mean?
So the Marines he did measure that the Marines can actually shoot at the Bloodmaster. Yeah, that was the first thing he did.
His reasons. Do you have any special
But he's not
weapons
moving the Marines on
your,
objective 5.
sorcerer?
No,
Do you string them out, give them still objective 5, and then get the shots in?
However,
Ah.
I should tell you, if you're within
I guess he
12
hasn't
inches
moved
of
them
me, you peril
They're listening to us play.
The
I
roll
like to
never
live
comes
dangerously.
up.
So Bruce Stallion, being a sportsman here, reminding Tomb King that he
you guys in
perils
the
us on
center
any
are gonna
doubles
go
within
ahead
12
and,
inches of the Lord of Skulls.
Ruh-roh.
Or excuse me, I think of the
Oh, why'd I do that? I'm an
Master
idiot.
Possession. And
Alright, I meant I can't shoot now.
Tomb
So,
King
uh,
responds, I like
think
to
I'm
live
totally-
dangerously.
I was gonna run out here and shoot the Bloodmaster.
That being
but,
said, you kind of want him to perils and blow himself up,
Yeah,
don't you?
I know.
I mean,
Yeah.
looking at everything around
yeah,
him.
don't worry
If you
about
get a
that.
smite and you perils the second one, 2d3 damage.
Discordant's
Just
gonna
kill
come
everything.
out as well.
Yep.
Advance. He's got 14.
Master Possession just goes Nova.
And kill
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, on any double you perils.
Sung Tzu's asking about the score. Currently, we're 14 to the Lord of Skulls, 24 for Tomb King and the Chaos Knights.
Any doubles you said?
Yeah.
They had a chance to come back last turn. They
Good, I
had
hope
to
I
kill.
explode and kill everybody.
Basically, had to blow up the Knight Despoiler, and they
That'd be
could
sweet.
kill a Sorcerer with a
Yes.
charge. Left the Knight Despoiler on 2,
Move,
failed the
move,
charge,
move.
7-inch charge
Put
on
these
the
guys in
sorcerer.
the middle here.
And that would have
Yeah,
basically
rolled a 6
only
from the
left.
charge.
Yeah, rolled a 6 and or a 5 and a 1. It
One
was
guy
a
killed him, but I
sad
don't think
thing.
that's any.
And that would have
It's all
left
split
just
up,
this
so
Lord
it's
Discordant to take on the Lord of Skulls, which
I'm gonna
is
try Death
I think he
X.
can still do it, but it forces Tomb King to roll it out.
Alright.
In this case, because nothing's really dead, I think we're gonna
Actually,
see this
I'm gonna
this guy
smite
blow
your
up.
sorcerer first. This closest model. He goes off. You want to deny it?
No.
Okay, D3. He takes 2.
2 wounds on the Lord of Possession.
That actually matters. Okay.
Yeah.
And then now the Death X. I failed.
Brilliant. Finally, you failed. But it doesn't
All right.
matter that much.
No, I don't think it does either. All right, so it doesn't really matter.
So Death X
just
did not go
go,
off in Lord of Skulls.
Everything
We will
into
see
your one Lord of Skulls.
an insane string of 5+ invulnerable
Yeah, with
saves
the bell
to save him.
that's the
You know, the crazy thing is that the Knight
Yeah,
Despoiler is a
this
bottom
guy?
bracket. Remember, he still
Yeah,
rerolls
no,
hits. He rerolled a hit. So, I mean,
46 battle
Yeah.
so even with him being bottom
Oh,
bracket, you're like, oh, okay, cool. So I'm still going to reroll.
All right, fine. I'll shoot the Fatal Flamer because I
Yeah,
think
that's true.
Well,
I got it.
if you get him down to 1 wound, you can kill him with a corrector. Oh no, you
4.
advanced.
Yeah, that's dangerous. 4 shots. These need 5s. Nope. My Fatal Flamer's not as good as yours.
I tried it with the Lord Discordant.
Yeah.
Couldn't get with
46
Lord
shots
Discordant.
from
Here
the,
comes the
top down,
Despoiler.
from the battle.
Oof!
It's 16.
16 of that.
16
Yeah.
more shots.
This Despoiler not giving Bruce
Kinda just
Stallion
for
a
sake of
break
knowing which
here.
one's better, I guess.
So this will be-
He rolled, what? He rolled 19 last turn with a CP rerolling.
Yeah.
16, right? Yeah.
Yep.
This is on 5.
I'll take that
Oh,
any day of the week.
yeah, I
He
think
was-
he might have
yeah,
rolled
so far he's rolling everything.
17, but yeah, just an
I don't
insane
feel
number
good.
of shots.
Yeah. Well, let's see what happens.
5s.
I'm not
Oh.
exactly the best at rolling.
Yeah, I get those rerolls. Let's see the conversion. Ooh.
Oh!
Wow.
That is 10.
I should have won though.
10 hits.
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
okay. Yeah, that's
Yep. 7 wounds.
All right, here we go.
3
Here's
of them are
7
neg
5
3.
ups we're about to see. Are you ready?
He's dead.
Well, 3 of them are neg 3 too.
yeah,
He's
he
dead.
did.
You
Does he
got him.
explode?
Please explode.
Does he blow?
No.
Oh, that's fine.
Bruce Stallion in the chat there saying, please explode, please explode.
Well,
Yeah, please.
Don't get out now. Unless,
Okay.
do you wanna play it
Sorry, I
first?
should have laughed so hard.
No,
I
that's
just
fine.
love the way you
Good
said
game,
it.
though. That was fun.
It's,
That was a great game to watch.
It's extremely funny. But unless you want to try max points, so you could do better in the tournament. I don't know if it's.
I don't think points matter. Trev,
Okay.
the points really matter. It's a win-loss, ain't it?
Well, we can
He's-
talk about
he's out
it's
here.
It's completely.
yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
so
talk it out.
the points will matter for tiebreakers. If you want to
Okay.
grab them, you can also talk the game out. That's perfectly fine. If you don't want to,
Okay.
go through the motions.
It's your choice, dude. Yeah, it's your choice, dude.
Are they playing it out or talking it out?
All right, we can talk it out. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
So
Yeah, they're just going to talk it out.
Well,
I fucked up the bonus this turn.
well, just before we just before we finish this, are you going to charge with your sorcerer?
Yes, I would shoot these guys here.
I think we're gonna we maybe
First.
see the
Yeah, so I want to.
He's gotta try to kill it, yeah.
What we call this.
see if we kill a
All
sorcerer.
right, let me shoot the guy that might interrupt then.
Yeah.
This is game. This is the first pod, right? The first game of the pod 2.
Need 3s.
Yeah, it's round 1 of pod 2. This is the
Two
second
saves,
game we
3
streamed.
saves.
This is on the.
Yeah, still early
The corn
rounds,
guy.
and
He's
we have a
tough
lot
as-
of interesting matchups
He's
that
tough
are
as
coming
4,
up.
but it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Usually, I think he is there.
Anyway,
He takes
It's
3.
got
3
one
failed.
left.
Okay.
Fine.
And I'll charge your source. He gets to. He
I'm
gets
going to throw
Bloodmaster
a
has
crack
4
grenade
wounds, I
in
think.
your
Or
face.
is it 5?
to.
One left.
It hit me in the face.
I don't know if I get the benefit of the spell. I'll have to look. Wounds? Minus
Ah.
one.
Wounds.
4 up.
No. Boring. Right, in you come.
All right. And I'm going to jump over here.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I made the charge. Okay. 3 attacks. 4 because I charge, you say.
Cool.
2 of those hit.
Okay, so for 4. So 3s. 1.
AP minus 2 or 1?
So I've got a turf save.
AP minus 2.
So I've got a turf save because I've got the relic. So
2 wound, 1 wound with the force axe.
Micah in the chat asking the synopsis of the game. It was an interesting game. We had a bit of a hiccup for the Lord of Skulls. Is that their bases are... We rolled up Dawn of War deployment, and their bases are actually too big to fit straight on in Dawn of War. So one of them had to deploy in the corner of the table over here, and actually got stuck between the fuck tree over here and this ruin for a couple turns. So he didn't get in the fight, but the Chaos Knights went first, did an immense amount of damage, left a Lord of one Lord of Skulls very low, and tuned up another one, but weren't able to get charges on it because there were some screening units of horrors, and they swung back, killed a Knight Rampager, came back to life, and killed the Lord of Skulls that killed it. But enough of the shooty knights had been damaged that the last Lord of Skulls and some random other things were able to clear them out. Basically, that just left the one Lord of Skulls that was stuck back here versus the Knight Despoiler with the double battle cannons. They had an epic shootout. The Knight Despoiler all game rolled like an absolute
monster.
God. Just some sort of foul fiend from the darkness of the warp that rolls all sixes all the time. In one turn, killed a Lord Discordant and a Venom Crawler, and charged another Venom Crawler and killed it. Just split between all three of them and killed all three somehow. But he turned around. The Lord of Skulls got in, started killing Space Marines, and the Knight Despoiler turned around and did 25 wounds to the Lord of Skulls in one shooting phase. And the Lord of Skulls tried to close it out. Left him on 2. Only did 15 or 13 or something.
14.
14. Yeah, he was down to 16 at that point, and left him on 2, and then also failed a charge on the sorcerer to kill the sorcerer as well. And at that point, things just turned around and killed the Lord of Skulls, unfortunately. But interesting game. Obviously, it was basically always going to be just a big knockdown, drag out fight, and they were just going to have a fight in the middle and see who wins. And that's what we saw.
That's what we saw. It was a brutal game. Yep. Also doesn't hurt when you shoot 4 battle cannons and you consistently roll 16 to 19 shots. Two turns in a row.
Yeah,
Go figure, pretty good.
This rapid fire battle cannon has been off the chain. Just rolling 11s for shots all game. It's been insane.
He's also taken out most of the stuff on the board because he took out all 3 of the Venoms. He took out at least 2, I believe, of the Lord of Skulls. That's huge.
Yes, 20 damage. Yeah, he did 20 damage.
Yeah, see, that's pretty big.
Okay, I think they're done.
Rerolls to win.
So I think we're
Yeah,
we're just closing up the game here.
Well, at least you saved
People in chat.
Mike
believes the biggest problem with the Lord of Skulls is the model.
Yeah.
It's a really fun game, so I'm very happy.
Yeah, hell of a game.
It is.
Yeah,
The size is a little interesting, but I think if you see it on a smaller size, it loses that 28 wounds, which is kind of a big cutoff, because the Despoiler chassis is so much easier to hide behind things. The Lord of Skulls really needs that resilience in order to not get tuned up by anti-tank shooting. It does look silly though, and maneuverability is an issue.
I think you need more shaft. I think you drop the venom as much as you want to boost them and send them after stuff. The one I played last night, I played an almost identical list last night.
Yeah.
He had 2 units of cultists, a unit of poxwalkers. It was a broken detachment. But the cultists could deny on a 4-up, and he could also move those out to get objectives and screen better. And then he also had 3 units of brims.
I think you're right, and I think the poxwalkers are good against Grey Knights.
Yeah.
I like the reason I'm trying the Venom Crawlers is because I actually own 3 Venom Crawlers and 1.
That's the best reason.
Yeah, and 1 Lord of Skulls. So I'm thinking about the teams list I'm going to play when we can do events again. And I'm thinking I might run Lord of Skulls and Venom Crawlers, but I would definitely try it with more chaff because I probably don't really need the Venom Crawlers. I find they're useful for distraction. I'm going to obviously have to play the rest of this with them, so I'm not going to change the list. But I find like they're a really good distraction. But the thing is, the real problem is I can't deploy tactically because they can't fucking fit it.
So hopefully they get a better model for you.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe somebody in the workshop can work on that. This model does seem atrociously large.
I think one of the main mistake I made was using, first of all, this tree.
This deployment.
That. But this
I
deployment
didn't
here, I was so scared that you'd kill my disco turn 1, but actually I don't really need him.
You don't.
No, he's just. I think.
I thought you castled too much.
Oh, absolutely. I'd put the disco here.
Unicorn.
All of these guys around, and just.
So you should have done this.
Yeah.
Since you can't put that in there.
The trouble is, his glaive sticks out the top.
Yeah. So his glaive will stick out, but you'll get a 2+ save.
It is too
so
big.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. So that's what I should have done, but that's fine. Cool. Well, good luck for the rest of the tournament.
You too, sir. Have a good one.
Thanks for the game. All right.
And for those that came and watched, appreciate you all too.
Yeah.
Hopefully see some of you later in the event.
That looks right.
Yeah, that's I think the appropriate size with Lord of Skulls model.
Jesus.
Which it doesn't step on a tree though. Look out. Hey, thanks guys for playing. Looks like that was an interesting game. Unfortunately, this Knight Despoiler ruled the table. Certainly despoiled everything.
Despoiled everything.
Yeah.
And the MVP, the elephant in the room.
Here he is. Little Graviton Pulsar Moirax boy over here with his cool scorpion.
Yeah.
He'll sting you. Look out.
Yes.
Watch out.
Okay.
Cool guys. Well, thanks for playing the game. Thanks for thanks for letting us stream it, and hope we get you back on later in the tournament.
I apologize.
A lot of fun. Let's keep going.
Thinking that I was going to play any degree of competence. Fooled ya.
Okay.
Right.
Hey,
another good one, Trevi.
Chaos won this game.
Oh,
just didn't know which Chaos.
And I've always played Iconoclast in my night, so I was really impressed to see the have some really good combos.
Cool. All right, Colin. Thanks for jumping on.
Okay, man.
And
no worries, brother. Anytime.
With me.
Anytime, any place.
Oh, there we go. There's a table flip.
I'll catch you, man.
See you, dude.
Goodbye.
Thanks everybody in the chat for joining. Hope you guys enjoyed this game. Pretty interesting one. Big, cool shootout between the two knights. Unfortunate that the Despoiler kind of just blew everything up. It was a little silly on its damage output there. Yeah, join us later this week for more games. Definitely have one on Friday, the other semifinal game. And I'm going to be playing my game against Chaos Knights, actually, as well. Sometime. We haven't scheduled that. But as soon as we do, you'll be the first to know. And jump on and hang out with us. I'm going to hang out for another minute or two if there's any other questions or comments from the chat. And then I'm going to jump off. Dark, thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. Andy Patton, how many more games are in Pod 1? One of them just completed just before we finished this, just before we started finishing this game. And then there were 2 more played. I think we have 4 or 5 more to go. We're not even halfway done. Lyle Dixon, Pod 3 will be launching immediately after this. So, if you're in Pod 3 on the wait list, then you'll get a message from us almost instantaneously. Pod 4 is almost full, and I have to check the messages right after this. It might actually be full right now. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Pod 3 is actually a lot of Pod 1 expats. We got a lot of people that are going in dual pods. So we have a couple people that are from Pod 1 coming back in. So it'll be interesting to see how they've updated their list after playing in Pod 1. And Pod 4 is a ton of new people. So a bunch of new faces will be exciting. So yeah, anybody who wants to join, obviously hit us up on Tactical Tortoise or Facebook.com/Tactical Tortoise, and we'll get you on the wait list. And then anytime a pod fills up, we'll hit you up and get you in the channel for it. Cool. So other than that, I'm going to jump off. And thanks everybody again for watching. We'll be back soon with more games of 40K from the T5S2 series. Good afternoon, everyone.